once again, good people. Welcome back to another episode of Riverbed Wrestling. This week, we are at episode 20, where we are going to be reviewing Double or Nothing from this past weekend. And we will also be going through a whole slew of news for you today, along with some highlight matches that we have seen this week. We got a little surprise for you all here today. Along with me, as always, is King. Say hi, King.
Oh, I wasn't sure I was supposed to. You said hello to all you good people, and I've been a bad boy this week. So I don't know if I was allowed to speak.
What'd you do? Did you invite somebody new to the server?
No, I've been so bad. You see, I got these cookies, right?
Yeah. I
got these cookies for this trip I went on.
Yeah.
And nobody ate any of the cookies. So for the past 3 days, I've just been burying sleeves of cookies.
That's real as fuck.
I've just been pounding them.
I don't like the voice you have, but that's real.
Back. I've been such a bad boy, man. I've been so terrible.
Listen, that wouldn't be the situation you were in if you didn't overstock for your cookie table for whatever event it was.
I have so many cookies. I'm saying,
how much you got left? Shit.
It's coming out my ears, man. I got fucking.
So anyways, let's introduce the new host.
Sheets to the wind on cookies.
That's fine. We can discuss more about that in a bit, but we gotta talk. We gotta talk about our new host here, Keg.
You're gonna cut off my foot.
And our new host with us this week. Brendan is not here this week. He is in Hawaii and also serving out a suspension for his episode last week. So with us this week is a little friend of ours.
I do want to apologize about that.
Yeah,
but introduce him. I want him to know. I want him to experience the apology and everything. Go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
I'm such a bad boy.
Thank you. With us this week is Zach. Zach, can you give us a little rundown of yourself on you and your relationship with wrestling?
I'm Zach, and I've been a bad boy.
God damn it.
No, but for real, Zach, that's my name. I had a YouTube channel. Well, have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Big WrestleMan. Brandon was my co-host for 5 years ago doing FMW commentaries. So if you want to see any of those, they're on my old channel. I'm also a former indie wrestler. Didn't really do too much, but I can chime in a bit here and there with some insights on what it's like to be behind the curtain, jerking. But
to jerk that curtain?
We jerking that curtain. Yeah.
You've been a bad boy jerking that curtain for me?
Famously bad boy backstage jerking the curtain.
Famously. Yeah. I've never known you to be a good boy when it comes to the wrestling.
Tell. One of my bad boy things is back in my days, I got banned from using coconut oil in my hair because I used too much and I was such a bad boy. I got the ring ropes all slippery, and the next match, people were slipping over and nearly killing themselves.
That's interesting because the flavor these are coconut cookies that I've been.
No, they're cookies. Whoa.
Jesus.
I've been pounding back.
No wonder your foot hurts, man. All that coconut is going to your legs. Them shits don't work anymore.
Take it off. They're gonna lop it off like a bunch of matcha. They're gonna fucking pound it and fucking bang bang bang. They're gonna fucking cut it into sheets. They're gonna cut my foot into a sheet and cook it on a baking tray, and then I'm gonna eat the foot, man. Cause I can't stop myself. I got no control. Zach, give me your hair. I want to put it in my mouth and feel it.
You want to put coconut oil in beforehand?
Oh, you put some coconut oil on it.
Well, yeah, why else would you want your hair?
I need coconut oil.
We'll get into your weird foot situation whenever we get to the injury section. So why don't we get into our top story for this week? Something that's very interesting that happened just yesterday. News broke early in the morning that Bushiroad has sold all of its stake in New Japan Pro Wrestling. As of right now, New Japan's main shareholders are now TV Asahi and CyberAgent. CyberAgent, of course, owns their division CyberFight.
And Bad Luck Fale.
And Bad Luck Fale?
You didn't hear about that? Bad Luck Fale owns the rest of the 10%. Or the whatever it is.
Ain't no way.
Yeah, Bad Luck Fale's got it all.
Damn. CyberFight, of course, their division of wrestling portfolios to be talked about here. Noah, DDT, TJPW, and along with those now is New Japan. Now, I'm going to offer some details here on this transfer of shares here. John Pollock of Post Wrestling writes, Bushiroad, the parent company of New Japan Pro Wrestling, has completed a stock transfer, transferring all its shares to TBSAE and CyberAgent. A meeting was held on Tuesday involving Bushiroad's board of directors, where all its shares were transferred. The related filing from the company states it, quote, expects to record a gain on the sale of shares affiliates in its consolidated financial results for the fiscal year ending June 2026. Bushiroad is transferring 10,500,400 shares, representing 70% of New Japan shares, valuing that portion of the wrestling company at about 2.6 million in USD and implying a full company value of about 32 million in USD. Bushiroad will transact 3.5 million shares to TV Asahi for 7.6 million and 6.9 million to CyberAgent for 14.9 million. And obviously this has gotten a ton of retroactive statements from different figureheads and such. New Japan released a statement. We hereby announce that our largest shareholder, Bushiroad, has concluded a share transfer agreement as of today with TBSAE Corporation and CyberAgent Inc. regarding Bushiroad's shares in our company. And Bushiroad founder Takaki Kidani stated, for New Japan Pro Wrestling to make further global strides and continue its golden age, it is essential to make the most of the video assets it accumulated so far to evolve into a diversified monetization business centered on a powerful distribution platform. The optics are quite apparent on what the goal of this share transfer is for. As for what this means for the wrestling world at large in Japan, I still have a lot of questions. Obviously, with CyberAgent and their portfolio growing even more with this acquisition, it is kind of raising some red flags in my head about a possible monopoly in the Japanese wrestling scene. It is tempered a little bit by the fact that both they and TBSIE have the same percentage of shares pretty much. I just want to know your guys' thoughts on this whole acquisition.
Well, I'll be honest. You've been saying Asahi this whole time, and I can only think of like a fucking the fucking plant. Like as soon as you said Asahi the first time, I'm telling you, you said you spoke for like 90 plus seconds. I didn't hear a word of it.
You're just spaced out with all the corporate talk.
All I was thinking about was getting an Asahi bowl.
That's real,
man. I was just thinking it's TV Asahi, not.
It's okay. We can edit in post.
But that's besides the.
I'll just put your vocal clip over it. I'll just put your vocal clip over it.
Like I genuinely said it. Maybe the first sentence you said it, and I was like, Asahi, and that was my mind for about 120. Asahi, and it was just me doing that in my head for a long time. Yeah, so. As you said, CyberFight, CyberAgent, they're big ass motherfucking company, and they are digital, and they own Wrestle Universe. They have big partnerships with most of the major Japanese wrestling brands. It's clear to see that this is another foray into Japanese wrestling for them to have a monopoly, at least on the digital distribution of their wrestling, as well as learning now that AEW has been taken off in New Japan World. And I see that as no coincidence with the news that we're hearing that the company's been bought. And TV Asahi is, I mean, they've been working with New Japan for 50 plus 60 fucking years, you know? And they're gonna continue to work with them. They now own them. They're a subsidiary of TV Asahi. I think TV Asahi is gonna run TV. CyberFight's gonna do all the digital shit because TV Asahi's probably only does TV still and has hardly any knowledge about digital distribution. That's why I assume they've partnered up for this. And like you said, it is a little bit worrying about, you know, monopoly, especially on the digital side, which as Western fans, that's how we're consuming it. We don't have Japanese television. So it's a worry, especially for our side of Japanese wrestling fandom. But all in all, I think we're not going to really see a major effect that is negative against us. In fact, it may actually be mostly positive for us. So I'm not complaining yet. I would say cautious optimism.
Doesn't it seem like they paid pennies for this company? Like, wouldn't New Japan be worth more than 40 million?
You would think, but man, that yen's down, brother.
Yeah, I guess so. I did look up like what WCW was bought for, and that was like 4 million. So I thought it was like closer to the WCW price, but it's not. But that's not
that's
what it was.
There was.
Well, you got to consider too, like you got to consider too in yen.
They were worth more than 4 million.
Like New Japan is worth 3.5 billion yen.
Yeah.
But when you transfer that over to USD, that's 2.6 million or 22.6 million. Pardon me.
Yeah. I guess so. I figured it would have been worth more.
It's not like the billion makes it more in Japan. Yeah. It's just their denominations of money. It's not like, oh, I'm a billionaire, that means something.
But they're feathers.
No, it doesn't. It's just all numbers.
Yeah, they're feathers.
Print a billion fake money nothing. Yeah. But I'm just saying, it feels like they were valuated less than what they're worth. At least that's my perception of the whole thing.
I kind of disagree.
I would agree with you, but I would also kind of disagree. I think
because I feel like
with their reputation, and I think they should be worth more. I think, unfortunately, they are not.
I mean, this is them pretty much selling high at
maybe 2019 New Japan, probably worth double, triple this. Probably somewhere around 100 million.
Too, like
USD,
Bushiroad started like they acquired them back in like 2012, and that's when that whole thing started there, pretty much. And
how much did they acquire them for?
I'll look that up right now. In a way, they're kind of selling high at the moment after their, recent Wrestle Kingdom, which had like an enormous amount of people there. So it made sense for them to just say, okay, now's the time we do this.
Ooh. Okay, I got it. They purchased in 2012, 14 years ago, January 31st, 2012, they purchased New Japan Pro Wrestling for 500 million yen, approximately $6.5 million USD. So there's been exponential growth. Of course, New Japan was at its worst at that time. We all know that.
Sure.
Well, it was coming up. It was starting to get better, obviously, but it was coming off its worst era ever, financially, critically, all of it.
Yeah.
Now we are in a similar position, and you can see how, I don't know if this is necessarily the yen doing the work and the valuation of it, or if it's, I think they have grown significantly, obviously. They've lost a lot of their growth, but I still think they are better off than they were before Bushiroad bought the company the first time. And as well as all that, I do think why we kind of disagree with that take that they should be worth more is that they're selling at a very strong point, just selling out the Tokyo Dome for the first time ever under the Wrestle Kingdom banner. They're selling at about as strong as they could possibly sell in this current climate.
Fair enough.
Well, I guess more outside. What would you? I know this is like derailing from the news, but I'm curious. What would you evaluate like AEW as then in comparison to New Japan? Like, I'm curious because I know like WWE is like $1 billion thing, but it's out of the conversation right now. But yeah,
AEW
would you say worth more?
Is not just worth more, it's worth one AEW is like 100 New Japans. AEW is worth billions.
Yeah, I guess so.
AEW's valuation is
yeah.
Let's see. According to Variety, as of a year ago, AEW is valued at $2 billion if it were to be sold.
Okay.
It's number 3 in the most valuable combat sports promotions in the world.
God damn, okay.
Besides, I assume UFC and WWE, correct?
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It is, I mean, compared to them, they're worth about $10 billion. AEW is worth about $2 billion. There is a massive gap, but still, AEW is a $1 billion business. It's, you know, I wonder how much this is a good question. I know we're taking up a lot on this. How much is CMLL worth?
Is
it worth more than New Japan?
That's tough. I don't really know.
It's privately owned, so they don't really have, public information. I mean, also New Japan's privately owned, but it's privately owned by 2 public fucking companies, so
True.
It's not privately owned. But CMLL is entirely privately owned, so I guess we don't know. I would assume that would be a more apt way of doing it. Maybe actually, hold on. Here's TNA valuation in 2026. Okay. Oh, that's
I'm scared.
Direxion Daily Small Cap Bull 3X ETF. When I look up TNA valuation, total nonstop action wrestling valuation. Maybe I need to look up. Approximately $10 million. So there you go.
Okay.
So
to just show you, New Japan is clearly number 3 if you don't count CMLL's private business. But the difference between number 1 and number 2 is a cliff. The difference between number 2 and number 3 is another cliff.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay.
Really puts into perspective how big WWE is, for real.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and one more thing before we get to our next piece of news here. I wanted to ask you, Kang, what do you think this means for the Stardom relationship there? Because as of right now, from what people are saying, specifically with what President Teru Okada said, he said that he expects the friendly relationship between Stardom and New Japan to continue. Do you believe that wholeheartedly? Do you think that there's any potential road bumps in the way that could kind of split things between the 2 companies? Like, what are your thoughts there?
No, I mean, Japan don't do that bullshit. They do business, I mean, they have I forget what it's called. They got the big wrestling coalition with all the companies together already. They're doing business together,
Sure.
So I don't see their relationship necessarily changing dramatically. I could see maybe you could tell they were starting to integrate the women a lot more into pretty much all their big shows. There was a women match. Maybe now there's not a Joshi match on every big show, and maybe it goes back to just being Wrestle Kingdom. But I don't think we're losing the IWGP Women's Championship. And I think, yes, I think Bushiroad sees Stardom as a growing company that has a potential to, I think, exponentially grow over the next few years, that they can then probably sell off just like they did New Japan at a point of strength. That's what I think will happen. I think in the next 5 years, Bushiroad will be selling maybe to CyberFight, maybe to somebody else, or whatever. But I believe Bushiroad's probably just looking to gain a little bit more value out of a company that has the biggest needle mover in pro wrestling right now in Saya Kamitani.
Well, fair enough.
In terms of
so what you're saying is
at her size, at her scale.
So what you're saying is there's no downside to this whatsoever.
There's definitely a lot of downside. All right, I don't even want to play into the bit because it's there's a lot of craziness.
Welcome to my world.
But I do think there is a chance that there is far more upside than downside here.
Oh.
Especially for Western fans and the digital distribution of Japanese pro wrestling, especially New Japan, which you can't even see a goddamn 10-second clip of without having the person who clipped it having their fucking balls hooked up to a goddamn car battery and completely and utterly turned into cum acid.
That needs to go ASAP. And besides, I think it's good for at least for Western people. If I can have all my Japanese wrestling in one place, I get the idea. Like, fuck Monopoly. But for me, I'm kind of lazy as shit. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I kind of feel that sentiment.
We'll see how this goes, and we'll keep on updating on this story as it keeps developing. Something else that we need to talk about is more WWE lawsuit news. WWE was found to have destroyed evidence. In a new ruling in the WWE merger lawsuit, Vice Chancellor J. Travis Laster found that Vince McMahon and Nick Khan destroyed evidence. The judge found that McMahon, Khan, CCO Paul Levesque, I think you guys know him, and former WWE executives.
Oh, that Levesque guy?
Yeah.
I've seen him do that before. He hit the brain matter after he raped that dead woman that one time.
No, I think it was pretty obvious. I saw it on camera. He just threw it over.
CCO?
Chief Content Officer Paul Levesque.
He didn't know that. Yeah, the Chief Content Officer, because that's a real fucking thing.
That's some good content right there. Fuck.
It's what we do.
That guy, he's trying to protect women and shit. The guy that on camera had the drugged up wedding.
Yeah, that one.
And raped a dead woman. We're gonna bring that into court at all?
Well, it's goes, like a
no Triple H. Yeah. Triple H liked raping dead women. Paul Levesque, I like big muscle girl.
No, I never had sex with a doll.
That was Triple H.
Anywho, Paul Levesque, Stephanie McMahon, and Brad Bloom.
That was Hunter.
All you sick.
Brad Bloom sounds like a porn star name.
It might be Matt's brother. I don't know. Now, Matt Bloom, not a porn star name, but a porn star look for sure. Tiger growl. Insert here.
Yeah.
They all use Signal's auto-delete function, which wiped out messages they had a legal duty to preserve. And it states here as well, this one gets me here. As a consequence, the court will treat 5 damaging facts as presumptively true when the case goes to trial next month. The 5 presumed facts are as followed. Ari Emanuel's promise to provide Vince with a continued role at any post-merger company after transaction influenced Vince's decision-making with respect to the merger. Emanuel's off...
Which is not supposed to happen at all, and publicly said that that's what the whole point of selling it was, kind of. So...
Emanuel's offer of indemnification. Indemnification. Thank you. Emanuel's offer of Emanuel's offer of Can you read this part?
Emanuel's offer of Emanuel's offer of indemnificate. I can't even say it. What the fuck? What happened? It's cursed.
It's
my turn.
Yeah, try.
Emanuel's offer of indemnification and other legal support related to pending federal investigations. Oh no! Vince's alleged misconduct influenced Vince's decision making with respect to the merger. They'll say indemnification.
That was tough. Holy shit! I thought it was just me, but fuck.
It's really easy to say when you're not trying to say it.
I guess
when you're not trying to say it all professional and read it out, it's really easy to say indemnification.
Vince decided to pursue a transaction with Endeavor in 2022 before the company initiated the strategic... Fuck. This has been cursed. This
is the worst presumed facts ever.
I know. Can't even get through the first 3. Vince decided to pursue a transaction with Endeavor in 2022 before the company initiated the strategic review process. Khan communicated with Emanuel...
What's going on?
I don't know, man. I'm having a stroke. Khan communicated with Emanuel between August and December 2022 to facilitate...
Nick Khan, that is.
Yeah, not the other one. To facilitate a transaction between WWE and Endeavor, and the 5th one here, Vince and Khan worked with advisement firm, insert here, Rain, to steer the process toward a deal with Endeavor and away from other potential bidders. The lawsuit, which was filed in 2023, alleges that McMahon predetermined the transaction with Endeavor to secure his continued role at the company in light of the sexual misconduct scandal surrounding him, rather than shopping WWE to maximize shareholder value.
That's incredibly damning, no? Could that reverse? Obviously, it may be too late now, but could that not do something to reverse a sale?
I don't know, because like you said, they're already
a publicly traded company.
I don't know what they would do if they got to that point. I mean, I assume just me, full cynic with the legal system. That slap on the wrist is going to hurt for them, but it's still going to be a slap on the wrist. But if it's just deeper than what I'm seeing here, I don't know what the ramifications could be. Like,
the lawsuit
how do you
was filed in
reverse that?
2023.
Yeah.
Ooh, because from what the little I know about a lot of these things, there's a statute of limitations when it comes to these type of things, and they're typically around like 3 years. We just had this happen with Elon Musk and OpenAI, where he was like, "You told me you weren't gonna fucking make it for profit. You fucked me. I hate you." But then like that happened in 2019. He filed the fucking shit in like 2024. Oh. He's like, "Yeah, it took me 5 years to realize that you fucked me." And everybody's like, "No, you just are trying to hurt them while your fucking AI thing is, starting to go public and you trying to make money off of that and you're trying to hurt their business operations." So it got thrown out pretty much because statute of limitations said, "Hey, it's far past the point in which you should be worried about this." So I wonder if we're going to have a similar thing here in which we go, yeah, if we had known about all this, we could have forced them to not go through with the sale, but it's been years now. But as you said, the lawsuit filed 3 years ago, to me, makes it seem as if there is a chance here that something happens. Obviously, too big to fail type shit. They're probably not going to get the company taken away from them, but
no.
Like you said, there's going to be a pretty big slap on the wrist, and there could even be higher ramifications than just a slap on the wrist for something like this. This is a publicly traded company that you are doing a back alley deal with. I mean, this is not okay.
I mean, in terms of
especially
the ethics of it,
considering the moral implications.
Well, yeah, I'm sure we're not surprised by all of this at all from this company and the crew involved, but
there's more WWE news, is there not? And actually,
and more legal news.
Yeah, I feel like Zach might actually want, because he seemed before this podcast to be really excited to talk about a few shots out of the mug. Yeah, if we say it that way.
A few shots out of the mug.
A few shots out of the mug. You can actually, if you want to, just kind of, there's a couple of them. You can kind of just go over them both if you want.
Yeah, of course. It's well known, probably not to the people who listen to this podcast, but I'm a bit of a collector myself. I like to collect things. One of those things I like to collect is wrestler mugshots. In 2 weeks, we've gotten 2, so we've been eating really good. We all know Ludwig Kaiser. He got his mugshot. Supposedly Gunther bailed him out, is what TMZ seems to be reporting. I don't know if that's a reliable source, but that's where I got it from.
Yeah, there's an update on this that our wonderful host will give. But who's the other?
Wonderful. I won't go too far. Yeah, and the other one was last night while I was sleeping in the good old Australia.
Wait, you're Australian?
Maybe. Oh, here we go. Yeah, from Cultaholic. Curtis Axel has been arrested. I thought he was still wrestling in the Rumble. The 2015 Rumble's still going. But he got
that's
arrested
right. He was
on
trying to
May
get back.
17th. But
they wouldn't let him.
What I got excited for, and it's not just this, it's not just the mugshot, because it's a beautiful mugshot. Do you know what date he's going to be released? And it's in May.
Oh, when is he going to be released?
May 19th.
Whoa!
Crazy May 19th. You can't escape it.
Can't escape it.
Can't escape it. But that's all.
We didn't.
That's what I have to share.
Fair
Pretty
enough.
big
And
news.
I'll share the updates on Ludwig Kaiser and his arrest. We talked a bit last week when it first broke There's been some more information since regarding the arrest. Let's start here. So, a motion was filed on Thursday morning requesting that he still be allowed to travel as it is a requirement of his job. Court records show that the state is not objecting the motion. And then on May 26th, it was officially approved by the judge. So he is officially allowed to travel as he pleases for WWE and AAA, and he is scheduled to face the OG El Grande Americano May 30th in a mask versus mask match. And throughout the past week, there were some rumors flying around about the whole situation at hand. There was one that popped up this week from Wrestling Inc. and their founder Raj Giri. He claimed that he was told that Marcel Bartel and his partner, AAA interviewer Andrea Bazzarti, I hope I said that correctly, probably not, were being affectionate in the elevator. What, Bazzarte?
Bazzarte. Well, but the Z is pronounced as an S, and it's not T, it's Te.
Bazzarte.
Bazzarte.
Bazzarte. Anyways, they're making out in the elevator. And the complainant made his exit. And from the Raj Giri information that he put out there, claimed that he said something along the lines of,
you need to show some fucking respect before I call ice on that bitch. That's what he said.
Allegedly. However, we got an update later on from Fightful Select that reported a number of sources within WWE believe the version of events of Bartel defending himself and Andrea Bazzarte from Ice comments was planted within the company. So, sorry guys, Raj Giri, no longer a reputable source.
Damn, I thought he was this whole time. You know what's fucked up is I remembered this, but I thought it was Ryan Satin the whole time.
that feels like a Ryan Satin story to me.
So, sorry, Ryan Satin, for this instance. And the next time you fuck up, I'll be there to unapologize.
Soon. Let's get him on the show. That'll be we can outdo our worst episode.
Yeah, for sure. We can ask him such great questions, such as
how much
if you had 1 million pounds of feathers and 1 million pounds of rocks, which way more?
I would just ask him how much he spends on his wife's weed habit.
I would ask him how he got that last name. It's a cool last name.
Yeah, it is. But with the Kaiser story, it was announced on May 27th that the pre-trial is set for July 16th. So we will see where that goes. This is obviously looking a bit more stable of a situation for Kaiser, and hopefully it stays that way. I don't think that there's any reported backstage heat for the situation, though there have been plenty of people saying like, shouldn't have done that. But
I want to ask Ryan Satin if he's ever baked before.
If he's ever what?
Baked before. I want to see if he's ever made a baked good. You think he's ever made a baked good?
I would assume so.
Ooh, tough.
And then I want to ask him if he's circumcised or not, and which wrestler he thinks has the biggest foreskin.
God, like, I like your cut, G.
Exactly. Actually, the opposite. Oh yeah, we asked this on the show last week, Zach. Which wrestler do you think has,
foreskin?
Yeah.
Who do you think's producing the most cheese per pound?
Oh my god, I gotta double check his name. Fuck, I had the name immediately pop into my head. He led the oh my god, I can't even remember his name. He in Lucha Underground, he wears the King Cuerno. What's his NXT name?
Santos Escobar?
Santos Escobar packing foreskin, man.
Holy shit.
Sorry, he would make Wallace blush with how much cheese he's got down there.
Holy shit.
Well, with that question being answered, El Hijo de fucking Fantasma, right? Santos Escobar.
Yeah.
Does El Fantasma, does it run in the family is what I'm trying to get at here. Is El Fantasma his
Ooh.
father packing so much fucking cheese that Green Bay is going to go out of business?
Let me double.
Fuck
Let me
Green Bay.
refresh
We going
my,
for the
memory.
state.
I'm looking at him right now, and yeah, man, that he gets it from his. I got it from my daddy. I got it from.
Dude, I looked up El Fantasma and
I got the rapper.
it's yeah,
well.
it's fucking crazy.
No
Could be.
way.
It really is.
No, man.
Right, and he's like some cowboy looking ass dude.
Yeah. It's fucking wild.
I was
I
like,
didn't
wrestler.
expect that at all. Yeah.
Absolutely
Good
cooked.
lord.
Yeah.
Well, let's go from our
Man owns the
foreskin
factory.
conversation to some Stardom news.
Yeah, we look, gentlemen. This is we contain multiples here. We can go from talking about wrestler foreskin to giving the utmost respect to Joshi wrestling.
Exactly. See, and people tell us that we don't have range.
See, this is real liberal media.
That real shit. We have some updates from Stardom. They recently held their Nighter in Korakuen show, and there were two little updates that we want to share with you guys today. First up, we have a match set for Stardom The Conversion on June 20th at the Yoyogi National Gymnasium.
What are they converting?
Yoyogi.
You gonna get converted? You going to Stardom to get converted?
Yeah, of course.
That's where we send all them. That's where we send all the undesirables
Shit.
to the conversion at Stardom.
Yeah. Stardom conversion therapy.
You get
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
If you ain't converted into a Joshi wrestling fan after Stardom, the Conversion 2026 on June 20th at the Yoyogi National Gymnasium number 2. This is the second one? This is what I'm reading here? Is the second gymnasium?
I hope so, and I hope that's not a typo on my watch. That'd be
What if
real
you rock up to the
embarrassing.
wrong conversion?
Yeah, I walk
It's
up
like,
to
oh,
the Yoyogi
shit.
National Gym number 1, and I'm like, what the fuck is this judo tournament? I'm trying to watch I'm trying to get converted.
Shit, the gymnasium number 3 is a bathhouse. I don't know what the hell they're holding there. But
Oh,
a
they're
match
dicking
set
their
for
hands,
that
probably.
show. Real. The match set for that show is Syuri versus Rina Yamashita for the IWGP Women's
Hell yeah.
Championship. But that is not all for the show that we got to update you guys on. We have a return to Stardom. At the end of the show, we had Saya Kamitani in the ring, and all of a sudden, we see Utami Hayashishita returning to Stardom from Marigold, her 2-year stint in the Marigold promotion after leaving Stardom, and now she is back.
Yeah, she was the top star to take the jump over with Rossy Ogawa when the formation of Marigold happened a couple years ago, and now she is the first major draw to jump right back to Stardom. And I've been pretty critical of Utami for a while now. I think she has really done nothing of note for a long time, and it seems that she was coasting. And as it turns out, I think she just was. I think she just did not want to be there. And now she's returned to Stardom with something she can really sink her teeth into. If you don't know, if you're unaware of a little bit of Stardom lore, I can tell you, Saya Kamitani and Utami Hayashishita are not only interacting a lot throughout the history of Stardom, throughout the last 6 years that Saya has been a wrestler, including, of course, Utami being the leader of Queen's Quest, the faction that was founded by Io Shirai. It was one of the first factions. It was such a huge historical thing. Saya Kamitani, when she was left without anybody, got taken in by Utami. And against Oedo Tai in the steel cage match, Saya Kamitani lost Queen's Quest being a stable forever. She was the reason why it happened. And then Utami leaves, and Saya's got nobody and nothing to fight for. So she joins the only thing she can join, and And that's turn and turn on her best friend Utami and go to hate. And like I said, Utami leaves and Saya becomes the superstar that she is. But not only throughout all that are they interacting, these two in real life, I mean, they're fucking best friends. So this is a genuine real life consequences of Utami leaving and Saya becoming a heel superstar, and now the kayfabe consequences of Saya becoming a heel superstar, and the only person she ever looked up to and was the best friend of has returned to set her right, to set Stardom right from her evil reign. We don't know, but what we do know is it's interesting, which is what Utami has not been for the better part of a year and a half.
Yeah. But with that match coming up between them should be awesome. I am looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out with that dynamic there. Great recap there, King. And
apologies if I got a little bit wrong. I didn't watch it, but I did research it a lot. I mean, I have watched it since, but I didn't watch it at the time. I wasn't here for all of this. I locked into Saya Kamitani basically when she was turning heel, and I said, hey, she's got something, and I was right. And this is something yet again. I think this could be really interesting. I hope Hayashishita really returns to form here.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully she's more motivated. Obviously, you're not going to be trying your best in a promotion where you're like one of the few like big, main event level people, and your boss is calling you fat every other week, so it can't be healthy for you to be there. And luckily she's...
I do think that is overblown. In Japan, that's just how it fucking works, all right? They just kind of be saying that, like, hey, you've gained a little weight, and you're like, oh, damn, I guess I have.
I hadn't seen my Japanese teacher from high school in like 5 years. The first thing she said to me, she said, Zach, you got fat. This is the first thing she said to me. Not, oh, it's great to see you, Zach. I'm like, oh, yeah, Katani said, yeah. No, you got fat. I was like, oh, thanks.
Yeah. That's kind of how it be. Of course,
but it's like,
can't really excuse the 17-year-old photo books. So there's...
Yeah, that's a bit fucked up.
Yeah. What can you do? What can you do? It's Brazil guy. What can you do? You can leave the fucking company and go back to Stardom. That's what she did. I don't think that's why she did it, though. But
it still can't be.
Who cares a reason, man? All I know is we gotta save Mayu Iwatani. We gotta save Sarah Yamaoka, who we're gonna talk about in a couple minutes. We gotta save Victoria Yuzuki, and then we gotta save the rest of them. But that's mine. That's the ones I like. We gotta get them out of Marigold, and we gotta fucking close that damn company down.
Real as shit. But yeah, as far as her next announced matches go for Hayashishita, there are two that were officially made for her return matches to Stardom. First one up is a singles competition against Akira Kurogane at May 30th in Kobe, and a tag match where she will be tagging with Matoi Hamabe, taking on Iida and the Wonder of Stardom champion Hanan.
Ooh, Wingori. That should be interesting. I think that the singles match is kind of interesting because Kurogane, for one of the young guns, she fucking brings it. So, could be seeing Hayashishita have to work for it in her first match, which is a lot more interesting than if it was something like, I don't know, Yuri Ahime. Not to put her down or anything, but you get what I'm saying here. She's a different type of worker.
There is some more news. Big news week this week.
There's more news?
No way. Yeah. It's well that this one it's also
crazy news
is
week.
so deep into the news section this episode, because we already talked about one promotion acquisition, so why don't we talk about two all at the same time? It was announced this week that Progress Wrestling and DEFY Wrestling were both acquired by two outstanding names. We have Big Damo and Nikki Cross, who have both acquired the Progress Wrestling promotion and the DEFY Wrestling promotion.
Yes. Epic. I'm big Nikki
Yes.
Cross fan. Just letting the world know. I respect
Hell
that.
yeah.
That's good. Big
Now's the
Damo
point
too.
where we reveal
Aren't
the
they married?
terrible things Nikki Cross has done or something.
Oh no!
Yeah, I believe they are together, and that
Wow.
this is a joint
No.
venture in many ways, a union of sorts, and but not in wrestling. We don't do unions.
Yes.
But
Yeah. Get your unions out of wrestling.
I wanted to start a union.
yeah,
Disgusting.
these companies were on the verge of shutting down, and they've been swept up by Nicola Glengarry Glenn Cross and
Oh, I see.
Damian Mackel. I know why he's called Big Damo now.
Yeah, right.
No,
He's
he could have been
all
Big
about
Mackle. Come on. That would have been
Big Mackel.
Yeah, you just
Big
call him Big
Tackle
Mac, yeah.
Mackel. Call him Big Tackle Mackel. He's swinging
Yeah.
that thing around all the time, making more cheese than El Phantasma.
What?
Who owned? I thought WWE owned like DEFY and whatever, but I guess not.
I think you might be thinking of Evolve.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
You are.
I don't know. I hear UK indie and I'm like, WWE probably owns it because it's yeah.
I mean, it's kind of how
Still
it works.
reeling over
they
them
killed him.
killing the scene in 2017.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That did absolutely happen. They killed it, and frankly, the absolute creepos that permeated throughout the entirety of the British indie scene also killed it.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
It was such a double whammy with that scene, man.
They could have maybe survived one, but they weren't surviving both.
Nah.
too big of a hit.
But DEFY is,
Seattle.
I believe, Seattle. Yeah, Seattle. That's like Swerve Strickland come up territory, you know?
Darby
Which
Allin.
I'm surprised
yeah.
he didn't try and, like, one of those guys didn't try to get in on it.
Right. I
And
didn't even know about
Progress
the DEFY
Is,
acquisition
of course, yeah, the British one.
until like reading into it. I only saw like the Progress one because
Same.
of like, you know, it was on the main pages, and also there's like random discourse and such per usual with wrestling stories.
Yeah,
So-
it's interesting. These companies were on the verge of collapse, and they've been saved. We'll see how it works out for them, and we'll see if they realize very quickly this is sunken money that is never gonna come back. I think I think they know that going in though, and this is for the love of the game, and I respect that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Another thing that we got to note down for news here before we get to the injury segment is we've been talking about the upcoming pay-per-view lineup for AEW as of late as we get closer to both Forbidden Door and the big Wembley All-In show coming in August. So many of us are speculating on whether or not there would be a July pay-per-view, and turns out there is. AEW is officially starting a new pay-per-view up called Redemption, and the first annual pay-per-view for that will be set on July 26th in Montreal, Quebec, Canada at the Centre Bell Stadium.
And it's named this because, as we are presuming, a lot of people online, because the main event match will be MJF versus Kenny Omega. A rematch, him trying his shot at redemption to win the championship. Especially with the way that it kind of looks right now. It's a very, a lot of people thought maybe Cowboy with the redemption, because that was kind of leaked that it might be called Redemption. And people thought, hey, we're going to have some kind of cowboy gimmick. And it's more of like a Heaven Angel Wings type of gimmick, which I don't know if you know anybody that's got that kind of gimmick going on. That could be in a main event match, but I'm thinking it just might be Kenny Omega looking for his wings of redemption.
Nah, it's Christopher Daniels. Angel's Wings.
Yeah, I dropped
Give me
that
the
in
wings
there.
of redemption. You can't do that to me.
So do you think that's the way that they're gonna go with the story there? Do you think Kenny wins there? Because I've seen a lot of like people speculate on what that's gonna look like. Because many assume that Will Ospreay is gonna win the Owen. I assume so as well. And people have already seen before the MJF and Will Ospreay matchup, and one of those matches was at All In as well. So if they don't want to run that back, who else should be in there but possibly Kenny?
I think the reason why the matchups are so interesting right now is because of the sheer layer of unpredictability. The past few months, the way that Tony Khan's been setting up around the world title, the booking around it, is there's a lot of moving faces, a lot of people that could be challenging for it, a lot of people that could be winning it, and it makes it to where, hey, you could see MJF, it's his year. He's been world champion most of the year. He should have the big main event title match. You absolutely could see them running two of their biggest, youngest top draws in the main event of Wembley, even if it is a rematch from Wembley, 2 years ago now? But
yeah.
You also very well could see the Omega, at least in this iteration, Omega Ospreay 3, the rubber match. Obviously, I know it's 4 or whatever, but come on. You could see both of these happening. And that's why it's interesting. And I have no idea which way they're going to go. If I had to predict, I would say that Kenny fails yet again because it just kind of feels like that's the red herring. That's MJF just won it back, right? And we know there's no way he's losing it before All In. Except for this 3-month storyline they've had in the background of Kenny Omega trying to get his redemption. Maybe he could do it. Maybe he could do it. Who knows? What I do know is, now going into that match, I don't know. And that, I'm happy about.
Yeah, and we'll get into it more when we do our official Double or Nothing review, but they've been definitely putting in a lot of effort for unpredictability in these main event scenes, and that's what you need most. When you look at the lineage of AEW's main events, a lot of them were very good, but a lot of them could still be pretty predictable at times, because they're trying to follow
what we call stat
simple
padding.
Story. Sure. And when you try to follow a story and make it make sense, sometimes the results can end up being obvious. You don't want to go the other way and make it unpredictable for the sake of unpredictable, but you also need to weave in there that unpredictability. And I feel like that's been something that they've been striving for throughout this year, and I feel like they've been doing good at it so far. Now watch as it falls off a cliff during fall.
Yeah, because it always does.
Tends to do that. Fucking Jaguars. We'll get into the injury segment here before we head into our highlight matches. Something that happened just recently, Sarah Yamoka revealed that she dislocated her shoulder in her last match that she had, where she attempted a dropkick, did a flatback bump, and unfortunately dislocated her shoulder. She is out for an unknown period of time. Atlantis Jr. also has been suffering from a knee injury. His timetable is also unknown at this moment. Another CMLL star with a knee injury is Mystico. He was injured on the May 17th CMLL show, and in a recent interview said he is striving for a June 5th return next week. However, nothing is confirmed as of yet. And we will divert from the bad news from the injury section to some good news. A little bit of spoilers ahead for our Double or Nothing review, so if you don't want to hear any spoilers just yet, well, first of all, just watch the show. But second of all, you can skip ahead to wherever I have it in the description for the timetable. But somebody who returned from their injury quite recently, and we weren't expecting him to come back so soon, Kyle Fletcher. He came back at the end, right after the Konosuke Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada match at Double or Nothing, and it was revealed in his proto-vlog that his injuries were as follows: torn meniscus, fractured tibia, and fractured ankle, and surgery was luckily not required. He said it was a 10% chance that he would be able to skate by without surgery, and luck was on his side there. And it was revealed on Collision that he is also cleared for in-ring competition.
That's really cool, because I thought he'd be out for a lot longer.
Yeah, I was just kind of like,
Crazy
fingers
list of
crossed.
to bounce back from.
I know, in such a small amount of time too.
But it's fucked.
I mean, I was expecting him maybe to come back before All In at the earliest, not the next pay-per-view. I mean, Jesus.
He's gone for 2 months.
2 months.
Not even.
For all that stuff. And another thing that we got to detail back here, speaking of more AEW returning from injury news, we got Jake Doyle back from a torn bicep. He came back on the May 27th Collision episode, which was right after the May 27th Dynamite episode. Those 3-hour shows are a lot. And he came back. We got Jake something back, boys.
Make it normal. That's what... Yeah, Jake Doyle. Jake something, Jake Doyle, whatever you want to call him. He's back, which is really cool because I also didn't think he would come back this early from a torn bicep, but maybe I confused torn bicep with triceps and it's really not as bad as I had thought.
Yeah, well, that's it for the injury news, and that's it for our packed amount of news this week. So why don't we head over...
Oh, God! They just chopped the foot off.
Oh, no, man. Sorry to hear that. And so now we are at the halftime segment of the show. Not exactly sure what we're going to do this time around, but I think Kang has something prepared for us. Kang, what's going on here for the old halftime segment?
Well, you see, last week, dear viewers, my good friend and business partner, Brandon, he revealed some concept art for our new show, The Chebbies, and
yeah,
I'm not sure it went over too well. I gotta profusely apologize for his unsavory pictures that he presented to you, and not only that, I think as we've gotten more and more into this, we've realized that it's pretty hard to do such a creative endeavor like this. It's such a hard thing filled with all of our love and passion, but I think we realized that it's not really going to make any money. So, in order to fund our passion, I've come up with a new business venture that I think could really take off for us here and get us some traction, which then could lead to us getting on some big network for our show. I'm really trying to make this show work, and we're gonna get past that AI usage and get some real animators and some real illustrators for this show. We're gonna make it the best thing we can be. But in order to do that, you see, I would like to start selling these. That's right. If you look in our shared chat, you can see what it is. For the people, they'll have it on screen. This right here is our first official. This is a grid that I've put together for now. They are all separate, but this grid shows off the 8 that we have. These are our official NFTs, non-fungible tokens
Jesus
of board
Christ,
Chebbies. King. That's right.
Kang, you cannot... You can't excuse fucking Brandon and his...
What do you mean? We're trying to... These are non-fungible. They can only make money.
First off, we're not getting into pyramid schemes here, Kang. This is not...
What are you talking about?
This is not...
They're non-fungible.
We're not getting into NFTs. I don't...
There's no... The pyramid's turned upside down here. We turned the pyramid upside down, turned that pyramid into a pussy.
It's still a pyramid.
We turned the pyramid into a pussy.
We did not turn it. We did not invert the pyramid, Kang. Listen, I was with you there with the apology. Listen,
they're non-fungible.
Brandon embarrassed me and took away water from like 6 families for that shit, and I had to send all that money to various states.
Look at it. He's in various...
I don't even know where the hell they're at.
There's a various array of emotions here for your board Chebbies that you could purchase.
Most of them are crying. I don't know. Most of them, if not all of them, actually, have some form of tears.
Can man not cry tears of joy, tears of sadness, tears of elation and pride for his fellow man buying the non-fungible
Oh, sure,
token?
that's fine.
He looks confused, scared, sad, depressed, happy. There's so many different emotions that you, our dear viewer, could purchase to help fund our endeavor.
I'm feeling
of a
all of those right
program.
now.
This is look, Sevi. There's no way we can get done in here. They're non-fungible. There's no funges involved.
Look, I asked you to be part of this show for Wrestling Analysis. We're on the 20th episode, and now we're doing borderline scams on our show in order to get ahead.
It's even got your tattoo.
I see that. I see that clear as day.
Yeah, man. And each one of them is going to have Chevy Stink written on them, of course. Of course. We got to keep the branding accurate because, Sebastian, you do, in
the
fact,
branding.
Smell. But, yeah, I think this could really take off, man. I think we inverted the pyramid, turned it into a pussy, and now we're sitting on the top of this thing, and we got so much room to sell our non-fungible tokens. And if this goes well, we could even make Chevy coin.
If we're not doing cryptocurrency, what?
What do you mean?
We are not. I don't know what the point of this is, man. I don't know.
The point
I'm just trying
is
to get subscribers.
I told you the point.
I'm just trying to talk about wrestling.
We're trying to grow our brand so we can then fund the Chebbies. So we don't have to use AI.
Did you ever finish that advertisements class? Because I think you might have missed a few.
What do you mean? They're non-fungible. What are you not understanding
here?
here?
Saying that and act like I'm gonna change my mind.
We turned the pyramid into a pussy. I don't understand what you're not getting.
Stop
here.
saying that.
What are you talking about? What do you want me to say?
We did not invert anything.
we grabbed the pyramid, flipped it upside down. It's a pussy now. And we fucked that pussy, and we made these non-fungible tokens for all of you to enjoy.
I don't even know
what do you got something better? You think we can make money some other way?
Through hard work, good effort, good wrestling analysis.
I slaved over these.
You typed in a sentence.
Yeah,
and
you know how hard it was to get that, man. Look, it took 20 tries before you got rid of that facial hair. I'm telling you right now. I was slaving over them, man. You don't understand how hard I fought for that spade to be shaped like a penis.
Can we just move on here, man? I don't.
Can you provide a link in the description to purchase our NFTs?
No.
Well, then we're at an impasse here.
Why am I in the frog leg room there?
What? Because, man, they turned the background gray. I said you gotta make it more colorful. Okay. That's why.
Fair enough. At least I got my eyebrows pretty good. I'll give it that.
We got it all. I think you can tell what picture it is too.
I am aware what picture it is, Kang. I am painfully aware.
But yeah, I think this could really.
And if you think I'm putting that image up on the video, you're dead wrong.
You don't have to put the base image up on the video that I worked off of, but please, if you wish to purchase one of these NFTs and turn your pyramid into a pussy. Well, how much
are they going for? Let's hear this. How much are they going?
Well, they're going for the normal market rate. You can't get me here. They're going for the normal market rate for an NFT. At this point in time.
This guy watches Shark Tank. He knows what's up.
Yes. If you wish to turn your food pyramid into a pussy and eat it all up, then go DM me anywhere. It doesn't matter where. I'll find you. And I'll get you one of these.
Nice. Well, off of Brandon's actions last week, again, I'll continue on his segment this week so that his segment is not too far gone whenever he comes back. If ever. I want to continue with his On This Day, What Happened This Day segment, or whatever it's called. And I want to do two things here. congruent here, because we are in late May, almost at the end of the month here, and we have an anniversary to talk about here. May 27th of 2016. Do you know what that date was?
That's the date that I first bent you over, and we had a great time together.
Yeah, we had a great time. We were watching the classic match between Ricochet and Will Ospreay that conjured endless discourse and still does to this day. But the reason I bring that up is
Leon show his tiny little penis on Twitter. It did, man. Wait, what? What do you want from me? It made Vader show his tiny little cock on Twitter.
No. I'm not discounting that claim. That is true. That is very true. I just got stunlocked because I remembered that image in my head and I couldn't get out of it.
I think it is valuable news for this.
But that's not the reason I bring it up. Because
it's not?
No, it's not. Because so the next day, literally not even like half a day later, do you know what happened? May 28th.
What happened?
2016. A boy fell into the gorilla enclosure in the Cincinnati Zoo.
Oh my god.
And they shot Harambe.
Oh my god.
So there's a non-zero chance the day before Harambe was brutally murdered in cold blood that he was at least able to see Ricochet versus Will Ospreay.
You think he fucked with it?
He might have been an old head.
Damn. He was just like Leon.
Just like Leon. Both gone, never forgotten.
I'll never forget. I love DMU, sweaty.
Well, that's it for our halftime segment. I don't know how we got here, and I don't know. I left more questions than answers this
We're
time
never
around.
going back. They wouldn't let us go back, even if we tried.
We are beyond redemption.
We're beyond redemption. Kenny Omega's got to find his wings of redemption, but you got to find me so I can sell you one of these NFTs, so I can turn your pyramid into a pussy.
You are the most absurd, carny guy I've ever met in my entire life. And we are at the main event segment now of the 20th episode of our show, and this is a big one here, as this past weekend we had AEW Double or Nothing taking place in Queens, New York at Louis Armstrong Stadium. And a bunch of buzz from the show, very well-received show all around. Had a good time with this one. Kang, can you give me some quick thoughts here before you get into the meat of this program here?
Yeah, man, I thought this show was absolutely fantastic. I didn't get to watch it live, so maybe I have a even slightly less loving feel about this than maybe other people. Or maybe I like it more because I was able to kind of go at my own pace, even though we did not do that. We essentially just watched it as if it was live and watched it for about 4 hours long. So, I guess I did have the same experience, just slightly different. I didn't know anything going in either, so it was essentially as if it was live for me. I thought it was the best AEW show of the year so far, and maybe the best AEW show of all time. I don't know about that. It's certainly up there, though, probably. It was very, very consistent all the way throughout. I believe I would have, Revolution 2023? The one with, I don't know why I'm choosing this match, but I am. Danielson versus Eddie Kingston, because that was a 5-star match for me, while it wasn't for other people, potentially. That match, is that Revolution 2023? It was Revolution, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to use my Google machine. We can talk about what are the best AEW pay-per-views of all time, maybe on a different episode or after we've discussed this. But that one, to me, actually, we'll just go into it. That wasn't the one. That was 2023. 2023 was the one with the 60-minute Iron Man match. So it must be 2024, which had Sting's final match. And
that was an all-timer right there.
Yes. Sting's final match. Ospreay versus Takeshita.
Banger.
It had Eddie Kingston Danielson. That was 3 5-star matches for me. that I had on that weekend, which then also led into the WrestleMania with Cody Rhodes winning the big belt, and I was at a wrestling high at that point. I thought, man, WWE's on fire, AEW's on fire. This is great. I think, to me, that Revolution, I'm looking at the card now, it definitely had the highest highs, and it had 3 5-star matches for me. I'd probably choose it over, but this match, or this card, rather, is essentially consistently nearly 4 stars, with multiple matches rising towards that all-timer status. I don't know if you would agree with that, but
I definitely think for sure it was one of their most consistent shows. I think, generally speaking, like, I even told you this, I wasn't ready to call it exactly like a top 5 AEW pay-per-view, but I was surely thinking it when it first happened, and I watched it live. But it's definitely, in my opinion, the best Double or Nothing show by far.
Easily.
I feel like
Double or Nothing's always kind of stinky anyways.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, for something that's like their, main inaugural show, if you don't count All In, like Double or Nothing's like the one that started off for AEW.
Double or Nothing I always view as their Slammiversary, their SummerSlam, their, one of their big shows. Not their biggest. That would be All In. But certainly, historically, this should be one of their big shows. And in Vegas, it never really felt that like it was one of their big shows.
Yeah, I mean, but like the first one, obviously, it had that it had all the vibes going for it for sure, with it being like their first show under the banner. But since then, it could be very hit or miss in terms of like how they structured those out. But this one is definitely an exception to that. So why don't we get into the matches here, Kang? You excited?
Should
you ready?
Go into the pre-show a bit?
Sure, we can.
Because there was a segment involving the main event and a pretty fun match with Big Boom AJ that led to an injury for one of the wrestlers for AEW that we didn't report on, that we don't have much information on yet, of course.
So pretty much what I've seen for that... Well, we can get into the matches here. When it comes to AEW Double or Nothing and its pre-show, there were 3 matches that happened on that pre-show. First up was Divine Dominion, of course, Megan Bayne and Lena Cross, who defeated Zeta Steel and Viva Van in under 5 minutes. They got nearly close to that 5-minute marker, but they still got them.
Yeah. They fought like hell for it, and it's an interesting little concept that hopefully will pay off to a really fun actual pay-per-view match or at least a big TV match, for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Hopefully this will pay off at some point and not just be squash matches for 6 months, because Megan Bayne's been doing squash matches for a year now.
Fair enough. And then after that match, we had the Death Riders, consisting of Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, and Wheeler Yuta, facing against the Ops, consisting of Anthony Bowens, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata. This match was better than expected.
Genuine pay-per-view level match, right? It could have been on the main show.
Could have been for sure. It could have been easily one of those like middle matches in there, and it still would have been like fair on the placement.
Yeah. On this card, it's one of the weaker matches still, but
sure,
it was still definitely, they knocked it out of the park for the pre-show.
Yeah, in terms of, especially on the Ops with Katsuyori Shibata, like absolutely getting an uproar of applause from the crowd, and the Death Riders doing some Death Rider action per usual. It just made for a good pre-show trios match. And then after that, we had another tag team match, this time of the 10-man variety.
Boom!
Consisting of Boom and Doom, which is Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall, along with Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong of the Conglomeration. And beside them is Big Justice, Harley Cameron, and the Rizzler. The most Mad Libs-ass team I've ever seen in my life. Facing off against Shane Taylor Promotions, which is Shane Taylor. Yep.
The Rizzler came out with the Conglomeration and not with Big Boom AJ, which I found really interesting. Is the Rizzler a member of the Conglomeration?
Well, he's more of a member of them than he is like the actual family of Big Boom AJ.
I feel like maybe whenever he's with them, they're kind of like, hey AJ, take care of our kid. But no, they said Orange Cassidy, he's all yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's gone Hollywood.
Hollywood Rizzler?
Yeah, and then also keep in mind as well, there is a Vita Coco mascot out there.
I don't know how I forgot about the Vita Coco mascot.
Well, it was funny. Whenever we were watching it, I was watching it for a second time, and you were watching it for a first time. You were just like, I wonder who's under there. And I was just laughing my ass off, muted, thinking it's just like, oh no, there's no reveal of this guy.
I still wonder who's under there. Well, we mused live that since iShowSpeed was the Prime bottle, this would be Kai Cenat. Or it would be, some streamer. We were hoping that maybe it's Neon from Kick. What if we get him? He's small enough for that, I think.
Maybe. I was thinking Sandman. He's my favorite Fortnite streamer.
That's true. Let's get Mikey Whipwreck and have him in the Vita Coco bottle mascot, baby, and see what happens. What if it was just like Brian Keith in there?
There's no way.
I bet you that's what it was.
No offense to Brian Keith or anything, but like, I didn't think the bottle was that short.
Yeah, you thought the bottle... Well, the face is in the stomach.
That is true.
That's what they always say. The face is in the stomach. I don't know if you know this. It's an old wives' tale. The face, it's actually in the stomach.
Like Krang.
Exactly. It's just like cow udders. That's where all the milk is made.
Exactly. I don't know what that is, but cool. But yeah, they faced off against Shane Taylor Promotions, which is Shane Taylor, Anthony Ogogo, Captain Sean Dean, Carly Bravo, and Lee Moriarty. And it was just a fine,
it's fine.
Costco guys TV match. But it was, the ending is quite notable because at the end they have a big old tag team super powerbomb, whatever the hell spot in the corner. And the ending was supposed to be this. They get all those guys up. QT Marshall's on the top of the rope. The Costco kids throw the coconut milk at the heels, and then QT Marshall jumps on top of them for the big power bomb. Now that's what was supposed to happen. What ended up happening was he tried to regain his footing at the top of there to prepare for the jump, and I'd say his balance was sort of off, and so he ended up just like jumping off and eating shit on the outside. Now, luckily, he ended up being okay as far as I can see. He came out pretty unscathed from it. Definitely scary in the moment. He did, tuck and roll pretty much to the outside. But they end up finishing the match, and right after the pinfall, you saw that Big Boom AJ got... either like nicked on his cheek or his ear. He ended up bleeding a little heavy there for a second.
Yeah, we got some banged up Boom, some banged up Doom. Doom helped to the back. Boom, blood all over his face, cutting a promo in the back with the Vita Coco man right behind him. He don't give a fuck.
That's wrestling right there.
That's pro wrestling.
It was funny in real time too. Because that happened like right at the end, right before the pinfall. And once he got up and everybody started joining in the ring, you saw Big Justice there see it and just go, ooh. Like he was taken aback by it. But yeah, fine tag match there and fine pre-show matches. Only thing we got to worry about left on that pre-show was, of course, the last segment on there.
The crown jewel of the pre-show.
I guess you could say that as well. With the pre-show here, we talked about it last week as well, that Mick Foley would be on the pre-show as a pre-show commentator along with Renee Paquette. And that led into a small little program here for helping out the main event, because Renee and Mick were in the ring, and then right as Mick Foley was talking, you all of a sudden hear whoa, 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 and in a particular voice that sounds like MJF. Wouldn't you know it? It is MJF. He's walking out there. He's talking to Mick.
What was Max Caster?
That'd be funny as shit.
Now we got
you know how that segment would go. He'd just be like,
Yeah.
whoa, hey, and then he just, takes the elbow,
He wouldn't even take. He would take Mr. Sacco and go down and dead sell it.
He'd seizure sell it.
He'd seizure sell Mr. Sacco.
That's what I would do.
That's what I would do too. Max Caster,
Hell yeah.
good on you, wherever you are.
I'll see you in Valhalla, brother. But yeah, so what happened here with the pre-show segment here with MJF and Mick Foley here, Kang?
I can tell you. I can give you the rundown. MJF said, "Blah, blah, 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 you fucking suck, bro. You fucking never won nothing. You fucking won. You couldn't hold the belt. You fucking stink." And Mick Foley was like, "Fuck you! I beat Dwayne The Rock Johnson, so fuck you!"
Boo,
and then
Rock,
MJF was like, yeah, they said fuck. The crowd was like, "Fuck The Rock, big time, boo, fuck you."
That's how you could tell that this crowd would be great all night. Is the moment that they heard Dwayne Johnson, they were just like, "Nah, fuck him."
So then MJF said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna beat you up." And then Darby Allin said, "I'm here to save you." And then Mick Foley was like, after MJF powdered and everything, Mick Foley was like, "Darby, I need you to win this one for the weird guys. You gotta do it, Darby. Oh!" And that was pretty much the segment to hype up the big main event. Because Darby Allin is the Mick Foley of AEW, it seems, is what they're going with. The crowd favorite, the weird one that never was supposed to be the one, to be the champ, to be the guy. And he is. But can he keep it? We'll find out in our main event segment. You probably already have found out because it's the main event title match of a pay-per-view for the second biggest company in the world that happened almost a whole week ago. So you probably already know.
Well, let's get to that main event, and let's get to the main show. Starting off that main show for AEW Double or Nothing, we have a New York Street Fight I Quit match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship.
Wait, it was a New York Street Fight I Quit match?
That's what Wikipedia says.
What the fuck is... It's not just an I Quit match, it's a New York Street Fight I Quit match. It's 2 stipulations.
Yeah, I wonder where they had it. Say the line,
It seems here, Louis Armstrong Stadium. What does stadium mean? Is that like where's that at?
Oh, it's like, Corkin? It's like that.
Of course.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Rockland Hall in the heart of Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah, New York Street Fight. Where's it at? In Tokyo, you big dumb bitch.
In Tokyo. I don't know if anybody saw this. It's irrelevant mostly, but Tony Khan ran the copy pasta bit where they were like, "Where is the New York Street Fight?" Somebody said, because the famous "Where's the Philly Street Fight" in Philly, you big dumb bitch. Somebody asked it on Twitter, and he said, "In New York, is like you beautiful person" or something like that.
Oh wait, no, that was for the
slightly to be
that
nice.
was for the Philly Street Fight for Stat and Shida.
Well, they have too many street fights. I is what I'm learning here.
What we're learning is next time you see
what makes it a New York street fight, other than it just being New York. It's the same thing as an I Quit. They didn't go in the street. You know what? I'm lower on this match now, learning that it has 2 stipulations.
It might just be Wikipedia being Wikipedia. I might have to go back to Prime just to see if they had it as a double build gimmick match.
What do you mean it's a New York Street Fight I Quit match? What the fuck does that mean? It's just I Quit on Cage Match.
Okay, well, let's just go off of that. It's an I Quit match for the...
No. It's a New York Street Fight I Quit match for the AEW World Tag Team titles between FTR, the Tag Team Champions, top guys with their ever-loving little man Stokely. And they are facing Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, Edge and Christian, Cope and Cage, whatever the fuck you want to call them.
Actually, on Wikipedia,
the
they're
big
Cage and
blow-off
Cope.
match to their feud. They're Cage and Cope on Wikipedia. Yeah, they are. Sorry. Sorry, Christian. I'm terribly sorry for getting that backwards. I'll call you Christian and Edge. How about that? So they're Christian and Edge is who they're facing. And this match was fun. It was a very fun match that had some crazy ass spots. But But I would say the first half of it didn't really do anything for me that much. The second half really started to heat up, and all in all, it was kind of just like a car crash that was fun. I wouldn't say it's anything special, but if you want to see a crazy ass I Quit match, and you want to see Edge and Christian still fucking doing it, Christian and Edge still doing it big, then hell yeah, this match bang. I don't know if you can say some more about it. There was one spot I thought particularly pretty gnarly, the pile driver onto the desk that spiked
dude.
Edge, who was famous for his triple fusion back neck surgery shit. That shit was gnarly.
Yeah.
It did feel like a lot of the time they were trying to hurt each other, which is what it's supposed to feel like whenever you have a match of this magnitude, at this big blow-off level. Oh, and also, I do want to mention, because it was very funny, Beth Phoenix, whatever her name is, just Beth, all caps, coming out to, beat up Stokely, make the save. She hits Stokely like once, throws him, and then immediately Dax Harwood just grabs her and like throws her into the steps, and she's out.
I was losing my shit when I saw that. Oh my god. This is like the second time this week I've seen AEW do that, where they have big like entrance pop. Somebody comes out, hits something, and then just immediately gets cut off. You saw it here with Beth, and then you saw it again with Jack Perry on the recent on the Go Home Dynamite, when he came out with like the fucking onions and the Sick Nick Mondo pants. And he came out there, hit Toliona with the onions, and then just got beat up anyways. And then same thing here. She just got blindsided right into the steps, like after getting the big entrance pop. But I thought
she
this
got the
match
huge
was
pop
fine.
and everything.
I thought this match was fine. Not as long as expected. Still felt like it at times, especially during the first half. But it still had a handful of good spots, better than their previous tag for sure. Had a satisfying ending, of course, and whether or not you like this kind of hinges on your taste for Edge at this point. But at the end of the day, it's still a fine match with some fun moments. Weird choice for an opener, by the way. I don't know, what the course of action was for that. I don't know if they just kind of wanted all the Owen stuff, smashed in between in the middle. But I would have preferred, Joe or Ospreay to start out, for sure.
You could have done Joe Ospreay. You could have done the very next match that we're about to talk about.
Sure.
You could have done the Continental title match. You could have done one of the women's. Well, probably not. But you could have done Ospreay Joe. You could have done Swerve versus Bandito. There was a lot of choices there. You could even start it off with the Stadium Stampede if you want to do a crazy plunder match to start.
Yeah, even I'll tell you this, even with all-timer pay-per-view, that's with a well-received pay-per-view at the very least that this show has been. Still, it's another AEW pay-per-view where they say, and the first matchup on this card, and you're just like, oh, really? That one? Okay, fuck, whatever.
Yeah. It wasn't what I was expecting, and it wasn't the perfect choice for an opener, but the match was good enough that it was a good opener. Yeah,
it still got the crowd hot, and, by the way, the crowd is piping hot for this match. They are loving some of that, Edge Vortex stuff.
They are molten lava hot for the next one.
Oh my god, we'll get to that.
For the right reason.
Yeah, I good match there, and FTR ended up finally losing their tag team championships. Let's get on to the next match here, because this is, by far, on a night of great matches, the best match on this card.
By a significant margin.
We have Kazuchika Okada taking on Konosuke Takeshita. This is the first match that was announced for this card officially, and it definitely lived up to the hype for sure.
They edged us. They edged us for almost a year. We've been edged. We got to have the big match at World's End, but of course, cut short by the bullshit screwdriver, which factored into the story throughout the show, which I thought was really interesting. But at the end of the day, I want to see these two decide who the better wrestler is. We've been edged for a long time, and tonight we got given it. And in this match, Takeshita, if you don't know, is one of my favorite wrestlers. I've been high on Takeshita before any of our friend group. I've known him since DDT. I haven't known him for a long time, but I've known him a little bit longer than most people have who just saw him for the first time on AEW.
You
right?
You raised the kid.
I have been supportive of Takeshita for so long as one of the best in the world. This match is all about Okada to me. This match, Okada, if you were not convinced yet, which I don't know fucking how, Okada here goes, yes, man, I am a classic maker. I am a big match haver. You want to have a great big match full of emotion and insanely crisp maneuvers and everything being perfect for the moment because I am made in a fucking factory in a lab to be the best big match wrestler in the world. That's what this is. Because, yeah, they do a bunch of crazy shit. Yeah, they do a bunch of no-selling. But it all factors in to the fact that in this match, these two hate each other so much. Not because they just hate each other. Because of who they are. Because Okada is the superstar of his generation. And he's still in his prime. Takeshita, he's more than that. He's close to 10 years younger, 7, 8 years the younger. He is the rising up-and-comer. He's not just a rising up-and-comer anymore, though. He just came off holding the belt that Okada has not made famous, but brought back to the limelight, especially in the West, over the past 15 years. He held that belt. He's held the international title that Okada is holding. He is the here and now, but Okada refuses to believe that it's possible that he has an equal, that he has a Japanese superstar on the level of him that's not named Hiroshi Tanahashi. And like I said, there was no selling, but it made sense. It was not no selling to me, it was I refuse to sell your shit, which is a little bit different. I don't know if you feel that way, but I feel very different about the selling in this match than I do about some other matches that had very long sequences of I hit you, I go down, I pop right back up, I hit you, I go down, I pop right back up, and that's what we do. This match had a lot of that, but every single time it fucking hit. Even down to the finish, which I absolutely loved, which is, of course, Okada getting absolutely blasted. He even gets hit by his own Rainmaker, right?
Which was, by the way, pop of the night for that.
Pop of the night, for sure. And Takeshita, what did he do to bring him down the first time? He hits the knee, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Either way, he hits I think it's the knee. And Okada kicks out at one, goes to the ropes, drags himself up through the ropes with his fucking teeth. He's so angry. But he's got nothing. He's got absolutely nothing. He gets raging fired and he's absolutely spent. But it proved that Okada, throughout this match, and especially in the finish, gave it his all to make absolutely certain that Takeshita did not defeat him until Takeshita, the younger, the superstar that he is, finally overcame Okada, became the champion that he knew he could be, and then, of course, got immediately kicked out of the Don Callis family and betrayed by the returning Kyle Fletcher, as we reported earlier in the show. Terrible, terrible news. If you want to give a little bit more detail on the inner workings of this match, I'll let you do that. I figured I would give you the big, full reason and feeling that you get from a match like this. We talked about it with the tag team match against the Young Bucks. This was that level of tension, that level of hatred, magnetudalized, I don't know how to fucking say it. I'm so worked up.
Enlarged.
To the fucking highest level. I mean, it was mind-blowing. Okada has 2 of the 5 best matches this year. So if you keep saying Okada's washed, I think you're absolutely wrong.
Yeah, Takeshita and Okada was by far the best match on this show. It's the absolute, blistering maximalist fighting spirit epic that AEW has their bread and butter laid on when it comes to their big shows. And this is just another one of those that makes you go, okay, this is why I watch these shows. There were so many damn fighting spirit sequences and spots in this match that as much as it can feel like, too much at times, I feel like most of them were pretty much earned and adored by the crowd en masse. I feel like so much of it was just well earned, and in terms of the spots of this match, when it progressed, you could tell what, main event type of like story match structure they were going for. And we've seen it quite a few times. We've seen it, throughout most of, New Japan's, Renaissance era, and we've seen like every other, place try to use that structure. But I feel like when you have two ballers in the ring there, it actually makes it feel like it. It actually makes that main event structure feel earned. And when you have the story of the rivalry there, along with Takeshita and his growing confidence, his growing swagger in the match, it made it feel like just a satisfying story throughout. By the end, he was just pretty much like sunning him. By the end, he became Big Bro in that instance. Just really satisfying match, really physical match. And
under 20 minutes.
Under 20 minutes
It didn't overstay its welcome. It was blistering pace throughout and didn't go for 40 minutes that felt unrealistic.
No, it was still condensed pretty well. There was a ton of stuff they got in there. They weren't missing a single beat.
And honestly, it could have gone 10 more minutes and I'd have been really happy.
Honestly.
It was great.
The match was heated up properly. There was a natural progression there so that when it got to those back and forth sequences, it didn't feel out of place at all. And you were able to just sit back and enjoy the ride.
Yeah. I could see some people, not seeing the match as good as it is, especially in a vacuum, not knowing the people involved, their story, how it's been built to over the course of a year. So there in a vacuum, this match might be rated a little bit lower than if you have all the context. But having all the context and everything, those fighting spirit spots did not get to me at all, because Okada is that great at conveying those subtle emotions of flipping that switch from, I'm Okada, I'm the Rainmaker, to I have to beat this motherfucker. And that's why it feels like every single great Okada match always flips that switch, and that's how you know that you're getting something truly transcendental.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a 5 for me. It's a 5 for you, correct?
Yeah, it's easily one of the 5 best matches I've seen this year. It's not the best match I've seen this year, I can tell you that. I can tell you that Okada, you have not topped yourself. But you tried, didn't you, fucker? And you just may still.
Well, we shall see. We still got another, half a year left to go through, so maybe Okada can do it again.
Got a whole Continental Classic he might be in.
Shit, you're right. We'll get into the next match here. A match with the unenviable task of having to follow up that match. We have Athena facing off against Mina Shirakawa in the quarterfinal for the Women's Owen Hart Cup tournament. Now, this match was supposed to be Alex Winter and Willow Nightingale on this card. However, due to Willow's injury, that match is taken off. However, they replaced that match on the card with another quarterfinal matchup in Athena and Mina Shirakawa. I don't have too much to say about this. I thought it was one of my lesser favorites on the card, but still fine in its moments.
Probably the weakest on the main card, but
yeah, still,
if it was
still
on
a fine
TV,
match.
you'd be sitting there thinking, yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, it definitely had. It was a very give and take sort of match. There were some moments where it felt kind of shaky and awkward, but there were other points that kind of relied on that ugliness to make it seem more physical, and that's where Athena is best in her element at. Still a valid addition to the pay-per-view lineup, and Athena bumping like a psycho has always helped it out a lot too. So, all in all, when it was ugly, it was bad, but when it was good, ugly, it was good.
Yeah, Athena was for sure. She was like, fuck that. Athena was like, fuck what you just did to me, Tony Khan. Put me in this death spot. I'm gonna fucking try my ass off to make sure that this crowd ain't dead. And the crowd was a bit dead, but I feel she did enough that was like, that I'm not sitting here going, why the fuck was this on the goddamn card? I'm going, yeah, probably the weakest on the card, but it was still enjoyable enough to watch.
Yeah, it is unfortunate that like Athena's slotted in like a match where it's just pretty much like, all right, don't let the momentum die down. You know, that's their job there. But when you have, you know, a professional in there like her, you're able to actually carry that momentum forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, and which leads us into our next match here: Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly in a no time limit match for the AEW Continental Championship.
You know, I thought the match was fine. I thought it had stuff to latch onto more than a lot of these AEW Maximalist matches, so I found myself enthralled with it for the most point. But well, there's some aspects such as Jim Ross on commentary and problems I have with Kyle O'Reilly limb work and targeting mechanics. Kyle O'Reilly is still, at the end of the day, a very entertaining seller, and his selling of the leg and Moxley's attacking of the leg in this match was pretty enthralling. It was definitely a match that I was kind of waiting to get kicked into a higher gear. But all in all, I would, you know, if this was a Dynamite main event, I would have been really hyped. And it was better than their previous match that was the time limit draw. But still, I wouldn't say necessarily anything to rave about, like that damn crazy 5-star we just saw. It's kind of what I feel like. But still, pretty fun match.
Yeah, I thought this match, I'll actually praise it a bit more. I thought it was a little hidden gem on this card. It's nothing that'll top like the best stuff on it, but definitely something that I think you should go out of your way to watch. Definitely something that changes the pace up of this card a bit. And though the first half didn't really quite grasp me, and there were some, like you said, some fallibility, I guess you could say, with Kyle O'Reilly and what he was targeting at a certain point. But I felt like it slow simmered into a hidden gem on the card. Crowd was electric, and the third leg of the match was one of the toughest closes to a match on this show. And the match closing with a submission trade-off with Kyle selling his ass off in this inescapable ankle lock that Mox has on him, with the crowd increasingly willing him on, and ends up tapping in the end.
It was a really good finish.
It was a really great finish, yeah.
Yeah. I just, like I said, there's points in this that I wish could have been done better, that I know can be done better between these two competitors. But all in all, still a really fun match. It's crazy enough. Is it top 5 on this card? Probably not. Fuck me. I just scrolled over the card. I'm like, is it top 5? I was thinking, yeah, it's top 5. And then I'm looking, no, it's, well, not for me. But I would probably have it at number 6. That's not a knock on this match, by the way. That's just this pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'll have to think about like my exact like placement in a bit here, but we'll have to go on to this next match here, because I did enjoy the hell out of this, and I know you did as well. We got Will Ospreay taking on Samoa Joe in a quarterfinal matchup for the men's Owen Hart Cup tournament. This one here, we have Samoa Joe coming out here, and then we have Will Ospreay in his Death Riders getup, obviously with the correlation there of him working out with the Death Riders as of late. You even saw them during the entrance, rooting him on, cheering him on. Hey, that's our guy, Will. We've been training him. Hey. And then, right out the gate, we have Will Ospreay just come up and Os-cutters Samoa Joe immediately, starting out this match hot. And overall with this match, I feel like it lived up to the hype. The guys done diddly did it out there. It felt energized yet well-paced, and a great contrast between the two, further cementing Will Ospreay in his advertisement of being, you know, this modern AJ Styles in his lens, and a match that borderline tributes on the matches that AJ and Joe had previously, while also staying on its own quality and keeping its own name in regards to this story that's going on between Will and the Death Riders, and keeping that quality within the same spirit of those matches.
Yeah, man, this to me is the second best match on the card. I said it before that I thought Takeshita Okada would probably be the highest rated match on the card, and there's a chance this one would be my highest rated match. Obviously, I was a little bit wrong, but I think my feelings were somewhat correct, because I love this new Ospreay. This new Ospreay that I feel is very much more similar to Ospreay from 3 years ago. But this new Ospreay, who, like you said, goes with the Os Cutter immediately, does a lot of limb work, a lot more brutal offense, sells a lot more beautifully right now, with especially against Samoa Joe. And I feel like Samoa Joe is the perfect brick wall, perfect test for him, because Joe wrestles like a goddamn human. Joe wrestles as if it is a fucking wrestling match and not a choreographed dance. Not to fucking make fun of a lot of people, but Samoa Joe is going to move out of the way. Samoa Joe is going to start punching you. If you start doing something to him that he don't like, he's going to start beating the shit at you. He's Samoa Joe, you know? So, throughout this match, it felt that way. Ospreay brings something to him, and Joe does something to fucking bring it right back in fucking... in a damn big way, in a way bigger way than Ospreay could even do. And I think Ospreay's blending the styles very well, because I did worry about him becoming a mat-based wrestler, him really trying to change up the style dramatically. And it feels like he's blending the two very well, which I already knew he could. I've seen him for years now. And I thought there's some very specific points in this match that I want to highlight. The Coquina clutch into the 3-arm referee spot everybody knows and loves, with Ospreay on the third letting his arm fall onto the ropes for the rope break. I loved that. That was amazing. I loved Ospreay just working the arm the whole time, hitting the tilt-a-whirl slam onto the arm. I've loved that he's doing all that. A lot of people were like, he's not doing enough limb work. I'm saying, when I see him, he's doing so much work where he's doing his aerial offense and his slams and shit directly to the limb he's working on, which I find great, because you don't have to always, grab a hold and wrench and twist. You can do some innovative stuff with it, which I find that Japan does a lot more than America, where they do a lot of dives, like, oh, I've been working this guy's knee, I'm going to do a 450 splash onto his fucking knee instead of onto his stomach, because that's what I've been working the whole time. And I feel like Ospreay is taking a lot of these of Japanese Ospreay, and maybe that's because he's coming back to Japan recently. Maybe it's just because he realized he was getting too American. But this match feels like a big Japanese match to me. And they went less than 15 minutes, right? I think if this match gets the close to 20 minutes, yeah, if this match gets a little bit more time, it could reach that Herald ground. Obviously, it didn't have enough time for me, and didn't really hit the extra gears that it could have, potentially. But, man, I love this match a lot. And of course, it culminates with Samoa Joe trying for the muscle buster with hurt arm and all that. An unstoppable force that you could never hope to put away with limb work. So Ospreay flips out of it. Bang, hidden blade. Bang, here's another one. I'll just have to knock you out, I guess. And I wonder how that's going to play into it. If he's like, damn, I still had to fucking knock him out. He still was so impenetrable that my limb work did nothing. Or if we're going to act like the limb work did do things. Because it did at points, but it didn't really factor into the finish as much, which I think people are complaining about with Ospreay right now. And I would like to see that be a part of the story, that he's still kind of failing a bit in what he's going for.
Yeah, fair analysis. I definitely enjoyed the match as well, and yeah, we'll have to see where that goes for Ospreay past this point. Obviously, that was the quarterfinal matchup, so we will be seeing who he faces next. He is facing Mark Davis.
Oh yeah, a rematch of the match that he lost recently, where he hurt his neck and couldn't continue after the 10 count.
So we shall see what the twist on that story will be whenever the next match between them is. Whenever that...
Well, you want to talk about twists and turns and and bodies breaking. How about the next one?
Yes, we have another Owen Hart Cup quarterfinal men's tournament matchup as Swerve Strickland, Swerve's house, faces off against Bandito. Now, as for this match in particular, I felt like it took a minute for really kick on, as they say. I felt like the first half of this match was a little tepid, but the moment that they needed to turn it on, they ended up doing some bonkers stuff in this one.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to tell you right now, I might as well rename the spot of the week to the Darby Allin spot of the week. But this match had a spot, and I'll let you talk about the match however you want to talk about it. But I want to say, if it wasn't for Darby Allin later in this goddamn show, and I'll talk about it when it happens.
Sure.
Motherfucker, Swerve Strickland jumped up on the top of Bandito's shoulders to hit a fucking house call. He just stood up on top of his shoulders.
I think that was the point where the match really switched on, because like it was in a lull there for a minute, but then the moment that he got up there, we were all just like, what the hell just happened? And he kicked him, and he was just like, oh my god, he just did that. And then we get to the side of the apron, and then we get a poison rana to the outside, and Swerve spikes his head onto the floor. Good lord, that was nasty. And then we get to the end here, where after Bandito does the lie-down version of the 21-plex, which I adore, he goes for the 21-plex regular edition, and he doesn't go back down in the German suplex position, but rather gets kept up there and gets driven down in a vertebreaker by Swerve. And then, whose house? Swerve's house. Swerve gets the pin.
Reversal finish. Really, really good back half. I preferred this match to Mox versus Kyle O'Reilly, but I would have them in the same area. You know, matches that I would say you probably don't have to go out of your way to see. Me personally, but if you are a fan of AEW and you're already gonna watch the damn show, I'm telling you these matches are bangers. They're not gonna be on an end of your list for me, but they are bangers all the way throughout, including one 5-star match.
Indeed. I personally have I'd personally have Mox and Kyle above this one, but still not too far off either. Still a good match between the two. Not exactly like, the dark horse candidate of best match of the night that I thought it'd be. However, that's a hard bar to pass whenever you have some of these matches on this card that it's facing up against. Still a really good quarterfinal matchup in that tournament, which means that Swerve defeats Bandito, and he is now heading on to the semifinals. And as of right now, he is going to be facing Brody King after he defeated Claudio Castagnoli on Dynamite. And after that match, we have a 4-way match for the AEW Women's World Championship taking place between Tekla, Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, and Chris Statlander.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. By the time we got to this, I was getting sleepy.
Yeah.
I watched it, but there's not much all in all to say. It's another women's match shuffled in between a bunch of crazy men's matches that gets lost in the card.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's a problem with AEW pay-per-views at this point. It's a genuine problem.
Yeah, there wasn't too much meat on this bone here, unfortunately, and
She'd have turned heel.
They had their moments in there, but it just kind of felt like a stock standard 4-way match with some, interesting, preconceived spots on hand. But all in all, nothing
better than Athena Mina Shirakawa, but not by much.
Yeah.
To me.
Not much to say there. Tekla ends up retaining her women's belt and hopefully onto a singles feud.
As expected. Yeah, I do think, in terms of that, I think instead of just Shida turning heel at the last second and costing Statlander the match, the fact that it kind of was woven into the match was definitely a lot better than just all of a sudden being like, haha, I've cheated you and you've lost, which did happen, but It felt more earned, so I'm more excited about that than a typical heel turn. You know,
Right.
It felt a lot more earned, but yeah, I mean that's about all I could say. That's what it felt like. It was hey, we have multiple storylines with the women, but we don't have multiple spots on the card for them, so let's just have a 4-way match. Have the Jamie Hayter can be involved because she's goated and she's trying to face Tekla, and we'll have Sheeta and Statlander's thing inside of that, and we'll just do it all in one. And it felt like, hey, we'll just do it all in one. It felt that way to me in a not so good way. Tony Khan.
Antonio Canales.
Yeah. But the next match.
Now this one,
I could not possibly be bored watching this one.
Next match, we have a lot to say about it. I know I do. It is the Stadium Stampede match. And
go on, give us it all. Give us your entire rundown that you want to talk about.
This is a wild match to try to encapsulate all in one, so I'll go over the highlights. Let's just talk about real quick the participants in this big old fuck-off party match. We have Jericho, we have Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, Kenny Omega, Jungle Jack Perry, Matt and Nick Jackson, along with MVP as well, facing off against Ricochet, Bishop Khan, Toa Leona, Mark Davis, Andrade, Clark Connors, and David Finlay. Now, in this match, if you are unaware of how a Stadium Stampede works, it is basically no DQ, everywhere, all at once, and everybody can get out of the ring, do what they need to do, hit their spots, do some funny stuff. So let's get into it here. Let me give you some of the highlights from this match. So Toa Leona lifts up 3 men on his back and does a Samoan drop. That's one spot in this match. We had also a Ricochet do an awesome shooting star press the outside on a bunch of people. There was a bunch of, dive spots. Hey, everybody group up here. Let's do a dive. Hey. Shelton kept on doing his running knee thing, which always got a massive pop from the crowd. Shelton Benjamin,
always great
in this match. He
even hit the damn his little dive over the rope spot
dude.
that he used to hit 20 fucking years ago, and he hit it just the same as he did 20 years ago.
Yeah, and even before that, we had a big old spot where Toa Leona had Kenny Omega in a stretch, and to get some elevation on that, he grabbed Ricochet's hand, who then grabbed another person's hand, and then by the end there was a big old chain link of elevation against Kenny Omega and his poor tummy. And then you see MVP just casually walk up onto the apron, swat him down with his pimp cane, and everybody fell over like dominoes. It was beautiful.
It was. It reminded me of the Sumi Sakai retirement match we watched last year or 2 years ago now.
That was a year ago, I think. I
love whenever this spot happens in wrestling.
And then we had, everybody up on each of the corners for a Hurricane Rana. Before that, we had Jack Perry, Rana, Mark Davis to the outside, off the apron onto the floor, which was brutal. And then we had 1 Rana, 2 Rana, 3 Rana, and then 4 Rana.
3 Rana, 4.
And then Mark Davis tried to get back up there. And then Jack Perry, who has Bugs Bunny abilities, pulls out a vacuum out of nowhere and clocks him over the head with it.
Yeah.
Big powder everywhere. Would make Jeff Jarrett shed a tear. Then, dogs are set up on the tables. They're about to get pounced on by the Bucks, and then they powder off away, they run, and then we get them running away, and that will lead to some more outside the stadium's chicanery there. All of a sudden you see Toa Leona and Bobby Lashley run into a hallway where the med staff is. They run over a guy who's sitting on the table, who's probably even more hurt now. And then Bobby Lashley's sitting on the side, and then the camera pans over, and there's gremlin-ass Leo Rush. It's just vibing there.
The Black Heart.
The Black Heart. And then...
My shadow knows my story.
God damn it. And then he runs at Toa Leona and chases him off and grabs onto him like a little leech. He is just so uncanny looking. Man.
Yeah. I love how he moves. The Blackheart Leo Rush, genuinely love this character. I love how different and unique he moves around.
He's at the other end of the gremlin spectrum that Mia Momona's on the other side of.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing or both.
Inside of you are two wolves.
The Blackheart, Leo Rush, and Mio Momono.
Yeah, and after that, we see the Bucks and the Dogs at the merch table. They, plunder through all of that with, like, the crowd on the side there. And then Clark Connors gets super kicked onto the escalator where he is being sent up it gradually. And then we get a double screen where we see Andrade trying to chase some tail on the outside, per usual. So he's taking a picture with some two girls who want to slide in his DMs, as the kids say. And then all of a sudden we see a third girl who is a dinosaur. Hey, wait a minute, that dinosaur girl looks familiar. Oh, that's Luchasaurus! That's a dinosaur boy.
She's hot.
Yeah, so we have Luchasaurus here with the Bugs Bunny
it's a
gimmick.
Dinosaur Boy. Jungle Boy and Dinosaur Boy.
Yeah, man.
That's what they should have been called.
Jim Ross would have still called him Jack Perry. Then we see...
it's weird. I would think that Jack Perry would be the one to wear the wigs in the relationship.
Nah, you don't need it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe Luchasaurus is feeling jealous. But Luchasaurus has fucking very long hair as well. What am I thinking about?
Yeah, man.
Why'd he wear a wig?
Because he wanted to appear like a girl.
Why didn't he just style his hair?
Nah, man. He needed the Bugs Bunny gimmick. We see Ricochet and Jericho go into the back area in a little training part, which has various tennis equipment. And... they start, just walking, brawling. They each hit each other with some tennis rackets that are there. Jericho knocks Ricochet down and then opens a door which has deathmatch legend Luther in there with a big old racket. The Big Show racket, I guess. And he hands it to Jericho.
Yeah, giant racket.
And just swats Ricochet away.
Could kill a horse-sized fly with that fucker.
You could bat frogs with that shit. And then
that's what he did.
Ricochet's up against a garage door when then all of a sudden we see a tennis ball fly his way. And camera pans over and there is a tennis ball, what's the term for it? A throwing machine? What's the technical term for it? A jugs machine for tennis balls. And Jericho's continuously throwing the tennis balls at him as well. So we got some more tennis balls in this match because it's a tennis court.
Yeah, shout out Louis Armstrong, my favorite tennis player.
Yeah. We're in catering now. And when we're over there, we see Gen Z Disco Inferno equivalent, Tommy Invincible here. He gets beaten down
crazy, wasn't it?
It caught me off guard. I had no clue.
That was so wild.
I was double taking there, like, no way we have Tommy Invincible. I didn't even think he was catering worthy.
I know, right? Why was
he's moving on up in the world. Good for him. So that's not all in the catering room, because in the catering room we have Satnam Singh sitting down at a table, just stewing in front of this large cake that he's just looking at. Maybe he's going to eat it eventually, who knows? But we never get to see, because, unfortunately, he gets his face shoved into it.
He got his face shoved into it, but, of course, he has to be there set up for the moment to happen. So, for about 30 seconds, you see him hunched over, covering his face, but he's a 7'5" man.
Yeah,
it's a very funny sight to see.
He just needs to learn how to work smaller, that's all.
To be honest, he did a pretty good job, because I was like, who's that big motherfucker? But I didn't go, hey, that's Satnam Singh. So, good for him.
I mean, it's funny as shit if you look back and the entire time during the Tommy Invincible spot, you just see him just like hunched over looking at this cake.
He's there the whole
with
time.
He is transfixed on that thing. He is ready to eat it.
He never got.
But unfortunately, he doesn't. His face gets shoved into it. He gets up and yells, "Food fight!" And then people start throwing shit. It was a very decom spot, I guess you could say.
If only Tony Storm were there.
And then we cut back to the main part of the. We got the Young Bucks fighting on the ramp with the Dogs, and they have shopping carts. They put Clark Connors in that contraption, and say, "This is the Young Bucks, and this is shopping cart, ramp, shopping cart, guys. Okay, go." And then they shove the poor guy down the ramp, and Clark Connors gets hit with a goddamn trash can at 15 miles per hour. And then you see the Young Bucks there at the bottom of the steps, like, "Yeah, we're the Young Bucks, yeah." And then Toa Leona comes out of nowhere, sprinting as fast as he can. Rick Knox is in the middle there, and then he just blindsides all of them. Rick Knox crunches down turtle style, and is somehow unscathed in all this.
This match, man, is crazy.
And then, that's not even the funniest part of the next minute or so, because poor Nick Jackson gets put in one of those shopping carts, and then just gets blindsided, hits his head on the side of the apron. It looked nasty. And then Toa Leona just starts grabbing the shopping cart and throwing it around.
He was going
this got wild here real quick.
The whole match, Toa Leona was going wild, but it came to a fucking head at that point. Toa Leona is a madman. Probably my favorite part of the match, this man.
Honestly, he was one of the MVPs for sure. And speaking of which, if you want to see something else wild, Lashley got speared out of his boots. That's right, Lashley. He got speared by Clark Connors. Fucking wild. And then we cut to the outside, right? And we see Mark Davis there with the big old bandage on his head. He's looking quite banged up. He walks over to this little golf cart, and he sees, a knife there, a whittled knife attached to a piece of paper. Now, I wonder who has a whittled knife that could be used for that sort of thing. So he picks up the note, and it says, "Look behind you, asshole," or there's something to that effect. And then all of a sudden you hear, the Jurassic Express! It's the bus! It's the Jurassic bus! And then it just rams into that shit full stop.
Yeah, unfortunately, the camera angle showed nobody there before it hit. Like, it was clear and obvious that Mark Davis got out of the way of it probably 5+ seconds before it even got close. May have even been pre-recorded. But actually, no, it wasn't.
It was not.
They saw it live.
It was not.
I've seen people record it as it was happening on their phones. I did actually see that this got reported on some app for traffic accidents and such. There was a bus crash in New York. So that's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that I almost forgot about that spot entirely until you brought it up. I fucking...
Yeah,
this match is crazy.
Bro, we got blindsided by Tommy Invincible, and we forgot about the vehicular manslaughter. It was wild.
Yeah, the attempt of genuine murder. That was an attempt, because, as we said, the men come back in the ring after a while. Nobody got hurt.
Poor Mark Davis has been through a lot in this match, and then it gets worse for him, because he gets absolutely speared to hell and back by Bobby Lashley. He gets his ass wrecked, he's getting thrown around like hell, and then...
He gets his what now?
He gets his ass wrecked by Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley's wrecking his ass?
Yeah. I mean, can you blame him? Look at that. Look at that dumper.
I know, man. I know.
That's shit killed Carl Fletcher for like a month or so.
It takes a big man to wreck that ass.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's not the size of a dog. It's a dog in a fight, you know?
I got some very terrible things that Vince McMahon said and did and purchased involving Bobby Lashley I could bring up right now that I won't. But I believe he could handle him.
Say it now. You won't. You too scared.
Look, we've already been doing this for an hour. Don't get me started.
Well, let's just continue on here. We got table spot. Oh, one wing angel, table spot. And then we get to the finish here where Ricochet is getting mugged by all the face team. And then just as they're about to hit all their finishes on him, Jericho ends up getting switcherooed by Bishop Khan, shoves Ricochet out of the ring, and then they trample his ass, and then he takes the pin. And so that's the Stadium Stampede, pretty much.
Yeah. Which then led to a blow-off match on Dynamite with Jericho and Ricochet that wasn't very well received. That you feel like maybe Ricochet should just ate the pin here, but he didn't. And this was not the blow-off when it felt like it should have been, which kind of retroactively makes me not like it as much, but you can't go retroactive on your voting. This match, you're probably going to either love it or you're going to hate it. This match, to me, felt like if John Hughes produced a wrestling match. It was every little weird cliche and trope you could possibly ask for, the most sequenced of events, it was like a damn movie. Like I said, it was not a real wrestling fight. But if you're able to compartmentalize and you are able to enjoy all the flavors of ice cream that is pro wrestling, then for a wild, crazy, almost COVID cinematic match style match, this is really good. This is one of the better Stadium Stampedes or Anarchy of the Arenas of the past few years. Although I believe last year's Anarchy in the Arena was maybe their best ever. I think maybe that just means that they're finding their groove here with these giant multi-man fuck-off insane matches. Or it just means we've been indoctrinated enough that we don't care anymore.
I mean, when you have a match that has tennis balls, Satnam Singh stewing over his cake, and just table spot on vehicular manslaughter, that's a good match right there. I enjoyed it.
It's wild. It was a fucking wild match. One of the best on the card.
It was a lot of crazy time. And remember, just like King said, let people enjoy things.
I didn't say that.
And you said enjoy all wrestling, and that means all wrestling, no matter what.
That does not mean all wrestling. Tommy Invincible was involved in this match. That does not mean
yeah, and I enjoyed it, so what are you going to do about it? Well, if that match is divisive, we'll get to this next match here, which is by far a really good match. Not the best on the card, because, Takeshita and Okada were on earlier, but I'm putting this as my number 2. Definitely
this would be my number 3.
The second highlight on this card. And this match here is the main event of this evening, folks. We got the AEW World title on the line. We also have Maxwell Jacob Freeman's hair on the line. It is Darby Allin, the current champ, facing off against MJF.
And what's going to happen in this match? Oh, that's right. 2 minutes in, Darby Allin's going to fucking have my spot of the week.
Bang!
I'm telling you, it was almost instant. And yes, that's right, bang. Because Darby Allin gets MJF powders after the start of the match. Darby Allin goes for his top rope dive. He's going to dive over the top ropes, launch himself into MJF. Everybody knows he's going to do it, including MJF. So when Darby goes for it, MJF clips the ropes. Darby's legs skid against the ropes a bit. And, there's no other way to say it. The man just launches head first into the ground. Straight up.
Yeah, bro got folded at 100 miles per hour. It was insane.
Yeah, that's spot of the week. That's spot of the goddamn fucking month, bro. Fuck.
Shit.
It
was in the first 90 seconds minute or so of the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first 90 seconds of the match, it looks as if he blue blazers himself all over the fucking floor.
Jesus.
It's nasty. It's fucking... I thought he broke his neck. I gasped. I straight up gasped. And guess what? He didn't. He didn't break his neck. He keeps going for another 23 minutes or so.
No, it was insane that he was able to finish this match, let alone not, get, injured, right there. That was insane. That's a Darby spot that'll, live in my head for a while, and we've seen a lot of Darby spots.
It's probably top 5 already. You can't... I think it's going to be impossible to top the glass spot, which actually left giant scars and led to Tony Khan being like, hey, that one was too far. I don't think you can top that. But this type of spot here, a very natural and out of nowhere spot, is the only chance he has to top a spot like that. And honest to God, at this point, I'm kind of hoping he doesn't top anything, because he might actually just die.
Shit, you're right. But as for the rest of the match goes, let's talk about this here. So he gets MJF on the side of the apron. We can see where this is going. He is going for a coffin drop to the outside. And then MJF gets out of the way, sort of a parallel to Darby's first AEW match against Cody, where he did that exact same thing. And that was pretty much the first time that the AEW audience saw Darby and went, what the hell is wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
And then he gets bumped to the outside. And then right after that, MJF sets up the stairs on the outside, tips him over, and then does a nasty-looking package pile driver to Darby. Just bounces off and dead cells like a motherfucker. And also, MJF sells his ass getting hurt there, which we know for a fact did not. He got that BBL.
He got that BBL. Bobby Lashley could handle him, though.
But yeah, that package pile driver to the outside was nasty. And then throughout the leg of the match, that before they get back to the outside, they are really honing in on that headlock takeover dynamic. Headlock takeover denied. Headlock takeover denied.
So all the matches have been decided, right?
Yeah. And then get a low blow, headlock takeover, and a very close near fall. Scorpion deathlock, rope break, coffin drop onto the knees. Now, this point of the match, we're starting to see some parallels go on here, because as much as this is the story of Darby and his championship reign, this is also about MJF seeing those title defenses and learning off of them. The Darby spot where he has him in the Scorpion Deathlock and he gets to the ropes. He goes up for the coffin drop, similar to how the Konosuke Takeshita match ended. And because of MJF scouting that, he was able to see, oh, this is where he dives off. This is where I'm going to put my knees up and hurt him. And that leads to another near fall. He did something
similar against Pac as well.
Yeah.
He hits that Scorpion Deathlock as soon as the rope break happens. As soon as the relief is there for the other wrestler, he goes for that finish, that coffin drop. And MJF saw it coming, like you said.
Yeah, and all the back and forth here is not just on MJF, as he almost launches Darby into his spring load cutter, which he hits earlier, by the way. But here, Darby is able to block it and turns it into a swiftly countered Scorpion Death Drop. 1, 2, near fall. And if that wasn't enough for you, let's get to another 1, 2, near fall. Let's get to another 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, ad nauseum.
1, 2.
And then we spring up, and then he seesaw Code Reds into another near fall. And now we are at a double down. And at this point, we get to another Darby Allin spot, as he wants to launch again to the outside, which is crazy enough as it is, considering what happened to him just a minute into the match. He's going for another dive. But MJF here doesn't
care.
Yeah.
The exact same spot.
Yeah, and Darby goes to the outside, but MJF, crafty as always, pulls the cameraman in front of him, and from our perspective, he just launches himself right through the lens of the camera.
Yeah. POV, you get hit with a dive by Darby Allin.
Pretty much. And then, after that point, the medics attend to the cameraman, and then they work their way up to the ramp. Now, on the ramp, there's, the barber chair and the razor there, the electric razor, obviously for a potential MJF haircutting scenario. Now, they work a bit on there to try to tease a potential haircutting spot, which, you said it first. Darby probably would shave his own head off in the middle of the match if we knew him. But then...
Yeah.
We see...
Which almost... I think even Shivani or somebody on commentary was like, you think he cares if he gets his head shaved off? Which is very... I love that, because Darby would not give a shit. Darby would let it happen just to get an advantage to beat MJF.
Probably.
He's not that vain.
Yeah, they end up...
Honestly, I kind of maybe wish they would have included that in the match, because that would have been pretty sick.
Maybe. But on that spot right there, we see Darby look up on to the top of the stage, and we see him get a little idea. We see him have a little light bulb shine above his head, so to speak. So he puts MJF onto the table that's on this platform, and he goes up, looks out to the crowd, and there's a really cool shot that I saw online that I'll definitely put up here of him looking out to the massive crowd, and then he does a little bang bang. And then coffin drops right onto MJF off the top of the stage. And if you thought that was bonkers, he got hurt in the process. He nicked his head on the back of that platform, and then when you see him get up, he has a crimson mask on the back of his head.
Yeah.
Crimson mullet,
hood.
maybe? I guess?
Yeah, I would say his crimson hood, like whenever they mutilated MJF as a baby.
Oh, jeez. Hey, man, we've all been there. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So they get back into the ring, they work their way back up. Darby is floundering about because he just got his head knocked silly, and also it's pouring out blood at this point. He locks him in a scorpion deathlock, but Darby has taken too many hits at this point. He straight up passes out. And we see...
Just like against Sammy Guevara.
Just like then. Hey, just like him against Gabe Kidd as well.
Yeah.
Because of that, we see
right.
MJF with a wry, villainous smile as he knows that this is his chance to take advantage of it. And then we get to the next part where Darby hits him with a Scorpion Death Drop, but he is still too wounded. He cannot cover. The crowd is trying to will him on, and then he kips up. He goes up for a coffin drop, and it is unfortunately denied. We then see MJF hoist him up, turn him around, and tombstones him off of the top. And then...
Yeah, basic super tombstone pile driver.
Just a basic one, nothing fancy.
Just a basic one.
And then he locks him in the headlock takeover, takes him down, 1, 2, 3. We are not seeing a bald MJF today, as he is now the new world champion. Really great match there.
We have proffered a bald MJF into the possibility of this wonderful, insane cavalcade of wrestling that we have, which means MJF, at some point, it may not be today, it may not be this year, it may not be this decade, but MJF, you will go bald.
Take that. But yeah, overall, really great match here. Do you got any remaining thoughts on this match before we get to the...
It's such a great match, because like you laid it out for us. There's so many different callbacks to Darby Allin's reign with the title and their entire feud of 4 years now, or however long it is. Probably longer than that if you go back to the Indies. This was a great match, and it's no secret that my 3 best matches on the card, I think most people's 3 best matches, unless maybe Swerve Bandito because it was just so crazy, which also has been built to, have featured multi-layers of the feud that they're in. Multiple callbacks to previous encounters or encounters with compatriots that they had. The match, Ospreay and Samoa Joe, featured a new Ospreay versus a Samoa Joe that's the brick wall. It was a perfect dynamic. You had Takeshita and Okada with the who's the Japanese superstar, I hate you. That's why, like, there's so much going into it, so much context that makes these 3 matches stand out so head and shoulders above the others to me that I think you really got to look into and think about that. Hey, this is pro wrestling. This is your sports entertainment. All right? It's the wrestling absolutely can be the storytelling device. This is basically all I'm asking for. This is what I want. This is what Japanese wrestling many of the time gives me, and AEW, at least right now, is giving me that. And I'm really, really happy with Spring AEW, and I hope to God, and I pray that in 5 months I'm not going, oh my God, AEW is in the stinker right now.
And I pray.
Oh my God, do I pray.
I pray every single day. But yeah, really great
card,
show.
great show.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah, fantastic show all around. All I have to ask, really, just... As for the future of AEW, I got one final question regarding AEW. And this is something that Tony Khan said, so this might kind of count as news. This might kind of count as the end of our show, what have you. I want to bring this up. Tony Khan was asked recently on the possibility of bringing in mini wrestlers to AEW. And he said, quote, "It's a great idea. It's a great thought. I've not thought a lot about it, but it's a great thought and a good idea. It's something for us to seriously consider. There's a big audience for them. They are very popular, and certainly, we can put it under consideration. It's not something we thought about or talked about doing, but it could be good. Before long, we'll be back in Mexico, so you'll see them when we go to Arena Mexico for Grand Slam Mexico. So all I'm asking here is, King...
Sounds like a fucking AI chatbot, man. What the fuck was that? That's a great idea. That's a good idea. That's a really... Yeah,
let me repeat the quote in full. It's a great idea. It's a great thought. I've not thought about it a lot, but it's a great thought and a good idea. It's something for us to seriously consider. There's a big audience for them. They are very popular, and certainly we can put it under consideration. It's not something we've thought about or talked about doing, but it could be good.
What the fuck is all that word salad, man?
I need to...
I'll tell you right here and right now. If we got minis in AEW, there's nothing stopping it from taking over the world.
Trios champs. Kemalito, and fucking... Can we get Sagrada? Fuck, we can't.
Kemonito.
I think he might be Minihausen now.
Tiny King Kong Bundy from the 80s. And
let's get
have
Little
them
Tokyo.
face Satnam Singh.
No! Wait, if they go up on each other's shoulders, do you think they could be able to beat him?
They might reach his nipples.
Okay, so they got a chance, is what you're saying. Awesome. Actually, hold up. What if they all dress up in a big old trench coat and then they try to get into the... Yeah. And then
the world's most giant doctor?
They try to sneak into the movie theaters. They try to see an R-rated film or something.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Ah, man. I think the minis in AEW is a genuinely good idea. I love watching midget wrestling.
Who would you have them face in AEW?
I know that.
Like, let's say Redemption, main event match. Let's say AEW...
I want to see 10 minis in the ring in a over-the-top rope battle royal match. I guess 9 minis against Satnam Singh.
In the Vita Coco battle royal.
Over-the-top rope battle royal. Oh, the Vita Coco can be the referee. The Vita Coco man. But of course, in my dream booking, Satnam Singh does not win.
Well, no, you gotta have something to pop the crowd on the pre-show.
But I mean, genuinely, I'm not. I was trying to make a joke. Genuinely, that match. Tell me that match wouldn't be so good.
You can put that on any card, and it'd be amazing.
Everybody would pop for it. Everybody. WWE gets it.
Honestly, Kemalito tag with Brody King.
Oh my god. Wait, Kemalito, the evil one?
Yeah, you know, they like devil stuff. They're into the occult.
Versus Kemonito and Bandito?
Yeah. Yeah, they're both blasphemous pigs, you know? They don't respect God.
They don't respect my authority. As the GM of AEW, I am bringing in the minis.
That was not your role. That was not your role on the trade game, but whatever.
All right, as the GM of New Japan, I'm bringing in minis. As the GM of any single company, I'm bringing in minis.
Yeah, and
that's what I got to say.
Yeah, before we go, it's wild that we had that trade show last week, and then they were just like, okay, we've seen enough here as New Japan. We got to vibe with CyberAgent now. Maybe that's what caused it.
Fuck it, we're selling. Look, I'm genuinely, not to go back on last week too much, I was looking at that roster for New Japan, and I was thinking, I gave myself the hardest job here choosing New Japan. This roster's buns, at least to trade with. There's like 10 good wrestlers people would want.
Yeah, and they already went through their
It's pretty bad
tape
right
period.
now.
They already went through their
But
tape
at the end of the
period.
day, that's crazy is that it's pretty bad right now, but at the end of the day, when they're firing on all cylinders, the way that they run business, the way they do things, even with subpar talent, a lot of the time, it's still the best in the world. So stay tuned for next week.
Stay tuned in it.
For more Japanese wrestling, for the best of the Super Juniors. Hopefully the whole thing. I'm not sure when it ends, actually. Hopefully we get you to review the whole thing. And the Champions Carnival from All Japan Pro Wrestling. We are going back to Japan. AEW in America can suck my balls because we're going back to Japan next week.
Yes, sir. And not only that, but the week after that as well, we're coming up here on the end of May, so we'll be doing our best of May list as well.
And Brandon will be back.
Yeah, and Brandon will be back as well. And not only that, we must also bring up what we said last week at the end of our program. There is a Turbo S 911 giveaway. Subscribe to the channel.